to YouTube channel. Do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Just as a program note, there probably will not be a show next Wednesday night because I will be on the road. Again, we're very close to Oklahoma City, April 19th. I'm driving out there from the Pacific Northwest, so I intend to start my travels on Wednesday. It's about a 30-hour drive. That way, in case I run into a problem, flat tire, you never know what's going to come up on the road. You know, just in case I lose a day, I should still be able to be there for the weekend. Again, I plan to be in town Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Sweet Lady has a graduation right after that, so I do want to go further east, but it's going to have to be later. And anyhow, after April 19th, I plan to head back the next day, so Wednesday to Wednesday I'll be traveling, so that might mean that we miss the next 2 TFR shows, but surely we won't miss 3. And again, if you guys miss me on the TFR program, I'll be live streaming all over the place on YouTube, so you can always catch the TFR reruns. Might hear an episode you missed before, but yeah, all things good and bad, right? The bad side of the trip is gotta miss probably the next 2 weeks of TFR due to traveling. So with that out of the way, let's talk about something, because so many people in this world, that they see what's going on, they see that it's wrong, and they're looking for the heroes and the possible saviors. And a lot of people in society right now, they see that agendas are being waged, but they've entrusted the wrong people. They think Donald Trump is going to save them, which is amazing to think that anyone could think Donald Trump's going to save them. I mean, he just helped usher in one of the biggest fascist agendas there ever was, you know, the pandemic. And again, for all the people who would disagree with that, then what do? Did he not legitimize it and declare a pandemic and, you know, help declare Operation Warp Speed? And, you know, did he do anything about your mom and dad's business having to be shut down while Walmart could stay open? Last time I checked, the answer was no. And then another people think another big name on the scene's a hero is Elon Musk. Remember on the anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla? I believe it was at the start of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. On the anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla, of course, Elon Musk has the car company, Tesla Motors, named in tribute. But Elon Musk, on the anniversary of the death of Tesla, the headlines read that he was the richest man in the world, surpassing Jeff Bezos. And what was so funny about that? Well, it was the 78-year anniversary of the death of Tesla. And by the way, isn't Trump connected to Tesla too? Don't they say, like, what is it? His uncle worked for the FBI that supposedly investigated, his apartment building and collected information after he died. The Trump family is connected to Tesla, which is interesting to think about. But Donald Trump, man, I mean, the guy's practically a prophet, right? He even saw that Osama bin Laden was going to attack us before 9/11. Funny, he talked about his insurance building up on floor 102 the day of the attack. The attack that was simulated with Operation Amalgam Virgo 102 days before the attack that supposedly lasted 102 minutes. Again, there's a reason for all of it, but again, he dies on the 78-year anniversary of the test. Or not, he doesn't die. He becomes the richest man on the 78-year anniversary of Tesla's death. And what's Tesla equal in Gematria? Well, the same thing as Jesuit, and that number is 78. On the 78-year anniversary, that headline. And of course, he passed the other big tech billionaire Jesuit pawn, Jeff Bezos, who at one point passed the other Jesuit big tech billionaire pawn, who's now Mr. Vaccine, Bill Gates. And again, so many people, if you go to Seattle, almost the whole city thinks Bill Gates is the closest thing to Jesus. They think he's the greatest man there ever was. Never forget Inferno, starring Tom Hanks, came out on his birthday. The movie that runs 2 hours and 1 minute long, 201, kind of like Event 201. Came out on Bill Gates' birthday, about a billionaire depopulating the world with a virus. And what's Bill Gates' name equal in Gematria? 201. One of the main co-sponsors of Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation. 201, the number of the Jesuits. There were 2 World Trade Centers, then there was 0, then there was 1, 201, 102 days before they came down. The simulation of cruise missiles hitting the building with Osama bin Laden's face on the cover sheet. What's Al-Qaeda equal? 102. Sure, it's all a coincidence. What's World War equal? 102. What's Art of War equal? 102. What just happened in Ukraine? 102 days after the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuits, a military conflict pops off in the Donbass region. 201. And don't forget, Biden and Putin meeting on Pearl Harbor Day, 201 days after the Ignatian year began to discuss Ukraine. So again, that's why we're going to Oklahoma City on April 19th, because that's one of the biggest 201 rituals in U.S. history. Timothy McVeigh, the accused bomber, on the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola becoming the first Superior General of the Jesuits. So we're going to this town as a team of people who care about the truth, who are trying to make something happen in the world. And again, anyone's welcome to join us. Oklahoma City, April 19th, that's a Tuesday. I'll be there Saturday through Tuesday doing the same thing day after day. And if you want to come say hi to us, if you want to help us out, again, I don't know how many people are coming, but however many of us are there, the goal is to help get out the message about the big agendas, the Jesuits, the knowledge, the verifiable proof, if people could just open their mind a tiny little bit. And again, something that does happen when I go out on the street is people want to come up and tell me their whole life story and talk to me for 2 hours straight. You guys, please don't do that to me in Oklahoma City. That's not what I'm there for. I'm not driving 30 hours to have a conversation with you as much as I'd like to know you. I'm there to achieve the mission, getting out the word, trying to wake up a city. And, a lot of people already say it's impossible and it's not worth the time. And I don't even know why you're trying, Zach. Nothing's going to come out of it. Again, this whole defeatist attitude, if that's you, I mean, there are bathtubs and razor blades. And, maybe we are defeated and there is nothing to do about it. But even if that is the case, I still say go out like a champion and fight the good fight anyway. And again, I ultimately don't believe that. The world wasn't always this way. It was a driving effort by a gang of people who said the ends justify the means, and their name's the Jesuit Order. And they made the world in their image because they worked for it. And again, to move them is going to take effort from people. So that's what we're trying to inspire. Again, I don't understand. I mean, it's probably trolls who always leave the defeatist comments, but like if you're, I don't know. Unless you're a troll, you shouldn't have a defeatist attitude, in my opinion. Or even if you do, then just keep it to yourself. It's not helping out anything. So anyway, coming back to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I want to talk about Elon Musk becoming a major percentage owner of Twitter, reportedly 9.2%. This just happened on April 4th, if you missed it. Elon Musk becomes a big percentage holder of Twitter's ownership. And immediately, the people online who are believing in these people can't see that they're Jesuit pawns and it's all part of just a big Jesuit show. The world's a stage and the Jesuits are the directors. But immediately the headlines start coming that, wow, Elon Musk should end Donald Trump's Twitter ban. And I just want you to see how perfect this is. Trump's going to be back for the next election, and he's likely going to win re-election. Again, the clue is where he had his first GOP campaign, Cleveland, Ohio. Who's the only president in history to have a split term? Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland's also known for having a mail-order bride, kind of like Donald Trump. And let's not forget his mail-order brides from the same part of the world where the Berlin Wall is, and he was declared the winner and president-elect in the early hours of November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which equals 45 in Gematria, like how he became number 45. But the Trump split term, very likely. And check this out. Elon Musk, by the way, the headline started to roll in about Elon Musk, how he should end Trump's suspension. Again, he's not the majority owner. He owns 9.2%. I mean, you can definitely be persuasive owning that much. But the headlines about how Musk should reinstate Trump, they began on April 5th. 4-5, number 45, right? But here's the thing. From Elon Musk's June 28th birthday, I hate that date because that's the date my YouTube channel got deleted for the first time in 2017. Maybe it was Elon. But anyway, from his birthday, June 28th, to the day the headlines began about how he should bring back Trump, that was 281 days later. And why does 281 matter? That's the 60th prime number. And what's the name Donald Trump equal in Gematria? 60. And what's the next presidential election? The 60th. Ah, what a narrative. You know, the day Trump finally gets reinstated on Twitter. And, there's a number of dates that could work out for Trump to return. Well, hold on. We'll touch on that in a moment. But I want you to think about this, too. The headlines about how the censorship should end for Trump on April 5th. Of course, in the U.S., we write that date 4/5 like 45. The majority of the world writes that date 5/4 like 54. And censorship equals 54. Even when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, censorship equals 54. Forwards and backwards. 54. And who runs these Jesuit big tech censorship platforms? Did I already just say? I'm just so used to saying the word Jesuit. The Jesuits do. Again, just look at it. I mean, Google celebrates their birthday on September 27th. Oh, what's that? That's the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by Rome. September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Why that day? Because the Jesuits' original purpose was to counter the 95 Theses. What day does this headline emerge? April 5th, the 95th day of the year? Remember back in 1968, the 95th day of the year was the day Martin Luther King Jr. got assassinated. Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses and led to the Protestant Reformation. Symbolism. MLK was killed 3 days before the Club of Rome was established in that infamous year 68 that we talk about so much. But anyway, if this happens sooner than later, it is about time that presidents, if you're running for the 2024 election, it's usually around this time, the spring, just before summer, that candidates are announcing that they're going to run, right? So the Republicans will start announcing their candidates. Of course, Trump's going to rerun. So wouldn't it only be fitting if in the near future Trump gets back on Twitter, his own social media platform, whatever it's called, Truth something, or I don't know, the one that I don't even know if it really exists because I don't know anyone that got past the queue. Like, I tried to sign up for it to see what it was all about, and it said, like, you're in position 10,800,002, and we'll get back to you when you can become a part. It's like, okay. Anyway, if that doesn't work out, and, maybe we could eventually get a headline that Elon Musk gave him the nudge to get Trump back on there, he should get another shot. If there's something like this, it could happen as soon as this month. Dates that could make sense, April 28th. Well, what's interesting about April 28th is it's 47 days before Trump's birthday. What's Trump equal? 47. What's Twitter equal? 47. What's president equal? 47. What's government equal? 47. What's White House equal? 47. What's Republican equal? 47. What's Democrat equal? 47. Again, this number that's used so much in D.C. You might recall in 2020, Trump was saying, I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years. And, of course, Biden was the 47th vice president, took office with Obama, who was 47 years old when in the White House. And, yes, that is how you should pronounce his name, Obama, especially for the people in Seattle who thought he was Messiah. But at 47, it's that number of government, it's that number of authority, and it should remind you Washington, D.C. was once on the land known as Rome on the Potomac, and of course Vatican equals 47. The first Jesuit pope, his surname Francis, 47. You know. What's Christian equal? Oh, 47. Hey, what's evolution equal? 47. You know, the Jesuits just creating crap, dividing people, have them fighting over their stuff, their political parties, what they said the truth is, what they said, you know, is the authority. I mean, it's the world we live in. I was trying to explain it to my landscaping guy. You know, I just had him over the other day. I told you about this guy. He has a huge Trump thing, Trump artwork on his car. He's a big Trump guy. And, again, every time he comes over, he likes to talk to me, but he always shuts down at the same point when I remind him that Trump's part of the same club. And he's just like, I don't get how he's so much better. I'm like, that's the show. And it's just, anyway, we're going to make people get it. He's coming around. He doesn't just totally shut down like a, if you've heard my stories about the landscaper guy, when I tell you about how I tell him about all this stuff that he nods his head to, and then I tell him how Trump's part of it, how he just shuts down every time. It's still kind of the same, but it's getting better as the years go on. So, anyway, it could be April 28th. It could be. We'll see. There's plenty of other rituals that could work, but just understand it's always a ritual. The day that Trump comes back, I guarantee it's going to be a ritual. And again, these guys are Jesuit pawns and puppets. They are not your heroes. All you need to do is take the knowledge I'm talking about and just track the days they make the headlines, the statements they make. It's all by the numbers every day. Their life is on a script. This is how the Jesuits work, by the script, day after day, from the sports games to the news stories, you know, everything coming through the technology, the radio, the TV. These are the mind control devices. And again, it's all by the numbers. But by the way, April 5th, again, the 95th day of the year, the Jesuits countered the 95 Theses. It can be written 4-5. IHS, the letters in the Jesuit acronym, 45. It can also be written 5-4. Jesuit Order 54. In light of the anniversary just passing of the death of Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow, I just picked up something new about this that I didn't realize all this time. So I knew Brandon Lee's name in Gematria equaled 54. And, you know, his death is a huge Jesuit ritual. And it's a major tribute to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, what they did with Brandon Lee. And just listen to the soundtrack for The Crow. Golgotha Tenement Blues, that's the place Jesus was crucified. But anyway, Brandon Lee in Gematria equals 54 like Jesuit order. If you've ever seen They Live, the Enemy of the People is Cable 54. Roddy Piper, born in 1954. But what I learned about The Crow and his death is it was a 54-day shoot to make the film, and he died on day 50 of 54. And that's why he pretty much doesn't miss a beat in the film. He's everywhere he needs to be. But remember, Jesuit order equals 54, sun equals 54. The Jesuit logo is the sun with the letters IHS. They say the sun is 93 million miles away. Brandon Lee died in 93 and was buried on the 93rd day of 93. The day they say is Jesus' crucifixion, April 3rd. And again, look that up. It was published everywhere in 2012 that science believed they'd figured out Jesus' date of crucifixion, April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. In Gematria, crucifix is 93, God's Son is 93, Nazareth is 93. Again, the Christian section of the Bible begins with the 930th chapter. In the Bible, Jesus crucified between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And again, the sun being 93 million miles away, and the Catholic Church being responsible for the name Jesus, and all this language that's all coded out and synced up with the biblical text. Again, the Catholic Church started out as a solar cult. And that's why they have the sun's birthday, Jesus, on Christmas Day, which is the solar man's birthday in paganism. And guess what solar man equals? 93, right? We just saw the death of Helena Hutchins, the Ukrainian woman shot on the set of Rust in a church shootout scene. Rust like Russia, like Ukraine. But remember, Alec Baldwin, his birthday, the 93rd day of the year. Brandon Lee, buried on his birthday on the 93rd day in 93. His dad, Bruce Lee, died while filming Game of Death. He died on the 201st day of the year. If you've never seen Game of Death, Bruce Lee's character is a Hollywood movie actor who's a martial artist, just like how he was in real life. And in the film, somebody loads a bullet into a prop gun and shoots Bruce Lee's character. And he fakes his death. By the way, do you know what? Brandon Lee died March 31st. It wasn't in the age really of the internet. That was the big story. The next day on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Brandon Lee's death, whose death on the set of The Crow was like what happens to his dad in Game of Death. But remember, Bruce Lee dies on the 201st day of the year. Brandon Lee dies in 93 and is buried on the 93rd day of the year. By the way, they're both buried next to Seattle University, one of the nation's few Jesuit programs. That's why so much crap comes out of Seattle. Remember, we had the World Trade Center riots right before the World Trade Centers came down, built by the construction firm from Seattle, just like Boeing, the planes that supposedly flew in from Seattle. But anyway, Bruce Lee dead on the 201st day of the year. Brandon Lee dead in a big 93 ritual. Alec Baldwin's killing comes 201 days after his own birthday on the 93rd day of the year and 93 days after the anniversary of Bruce Lee's death. And then the whole Ukraine thing starts in a big 201 ritual. Russia, Rust, the name of the film. Rust, Russia, a church shootout scene. This whole thing synced up with the Pope and the superior generals we've been talking about. But again, you guys, the Jesuits, you just learn their little simple code. You see how much they manage the world stage with the same numbers, the same type of rituals, over and over and over. And again, it shows you these saviors, whether they're in some book that was given to you by the Catholic Church or on some television screen or some radio broadcast that's also coming from the same Jesuits. People got to wake up, you know. From a young age, you've been trained how to think and what to believe. And, you know, again, it's not working out for humanity. Everyone's believing in and trusting and following the wrong things. And essentially, I mean, if you look at what we, the people of the world, are doing right now, we are paying for our own enslavement. You know, we're helping ensure that there will be another needless war that kills, you know, the children coming up today and the young people that are living today, if not eventually us ourselves. You know, we're paying for the next false flag operation, the next contrived whatever it is to take away more rights and liberties. You see what a joke it is they did in Sacramento with the 2:01 a.m. shooting? The shooter, Smiley Martin, who was released from prison for unknown reasons, 54 days before the shooting, on a Sunday, on the 93rd day of the year on a Sunday when sun is 54, while Gavin Newsom, the Jesuit scumbag's 54. Not to mention the shooting came exactly 44 days after Jesuit scumbag Gavin Newsom's speech on gun control. Gun control equals 49, shooting equals 44. Gavin Newsom gives a speech about gun control on the 49th day of the year. 44 days later on the 93rd day of the year, a mass shooting at 2:01 a.m. Again, you guys, they're making a mockery of us. The world is a stage. I guess the Brandon Lee story was a big April Fool's joke looking back. Remember Nipsey Hussle dead on March 31st, and then on April Fool's Day, they said the shooter was Shitty Cuz, whose real name was Eric Holder, the name of the Attorney General of Obama, back when Obama, I said his name wrong, sorry, back when Obama was president. Anyway. None of these people are our heroes, you guys. They're not our heroes, you know. You ever heard that band Muse? They got some songs. They're all full of truth. I was listening. I heard Muse's song on the radio the other day, Uprising, and I was like, this song, the lyrics are so true and so on point. I was like, I know the Jesuits wrote this song. This is false hope for the masses. I get home and I'm like, I typed in Rome, Italy, Muse just to see if they did a concert in Rome. Not only did they do a concert in Rome and Italy, they have a huge DVD about this concert that came out on Remember the 5th of November. And you know what all the bandmates are all wearing? They're all wearing red, black, and white. You know how they start that concert? With the song Supremacy. Look up the lyrics to these songs. Look up the lyrics to Muse, Supremacy. That they end the song with, or they end the concert with Time is Short. It's just, man, it's just the Jesuits, you guys. They own our world. Your favorite bands are probably under their influence. They probably wrote the songs of your favorite bands. It's just like Ozzy Osbourne, War Pigs, one of the truest songs ever written. No matter what you think about Ozzy Osbourne. By the way, Ozzy Osbourne 201. Metallica was touring with Ozzy Osbourne back in '86. What happens to Cliff Burton on the day they were the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome? Cliff Burton, the bassist for Metallica, dies right after traveling with Ozzy Osbourne 201. Remember this year what happened? on the anniversary of Ozzy biting the head off a bat. Meatloaf died, bat out of hell. And that was on the anniversary of coronavirus showing up in the U.S. after Event 201 when at first they blamed it on a bat. And the U.S. Mint put out its first quarter with a bat on it. Remember that? Remember how that was the news at the same time as coronavirus? They're talking about bats. It's just like the movie Contagion. We got coronavirus blamed on bats from China. You know, the money. What's in the middle of the Jesuit logo? They got the sun with the letters IHS and the Templar cross. And who are the original bankers? The Templars. All wars are bankers' wars, even the war on germs. What's Trump doing? He's in Switzerland where the bankers are, where the World Economic Forum is, where the World Health Organization is, where the Templars went after they were burned at the stake. Trump's over there on the day coronavirus is being confirmed in the U.S. By the numbers. Whole nother ritual. But, again, you guys, it's just so obvious who the heroes aren't if you're actually paying attention. And who the hero needs to be is you. The world needs some real heroes. They're going to be the people who stand up and literally fight back. The uprising. It's like you listen to the Muse song and you go, you know what? This might be a Jesuit band and a bunch of Jesuits might have wrote this song to keep us parked on our ass and believing Muse was just around the corner to lead the revolution, but really it had to be you. And you know, Barack Obama, one of the biggest Jesuit pawns we ever had in the White House, but he told people the truth when he first became president. He said nothing's going to change, even though he ran on hope and change, unless you do something. How many people did something? You know, most people just turned on their computer and jerked off some more. At least we got a black president. So anyway, we should be going to commercial break here any second. And when we do come back, we'll be taking your calls, but that'll be after Rambo. Always the brilliant mind of Rambo first. I guess that's the commercial break. We'll be right back, everybody.
Let me give you 3 key points on asking and receiving. Number 1, asking starts a unique process, mental and emotional. It's like pushing a button and all this machinery starts working. Asking is the beginning of receiving, so start the process. Here's number 2, receiving is not the problem. Receiving is automatic. Failure to ask might be one of your major problems. I don't know. Check it out. Here's number 3. Receiving is like the ocean. There's plenty. It's like an ocean here. Success is not in short supply. It isn't rationed, and you stepped up to the window and it was all gone. No, no, no. It's like an ocean here. Now, if that's true, what's the problem? Well, some people go to the ocean with a teaspoon. Have you got the picture? See, what you want to do in view of the size of the ocean is trade your teaspoon for at least a bucket.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation, a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records. Remove negative energy attachments from your astral body. And start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state. Manifest new and exciting experiences. Re-energize your life. And build inspiring connections with others in our community.
We exist in the security and comfort of our worlds. Paved paths, lights, and manicured lawns give us peace of mind that our world has been tamed, and we are its master. But other worlds exist on the edge of our sight. On the edge of our awareness, the shadows move. The woods is filled with the unblinking eyes of the nightmares our ancestors warned us about. Some of us have stumbled into these forgotten realms, whether on purpose or completely by surprise. I'm Brent Thomas. Join us on the Paranormal Portal Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time as we journey into the world of the paranormal phenomena.
Enter the Paranormal Portal if you dare.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
What do you see?
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We're about to go out to Rambo. Over the break, I had to look up what day the single came out for Uprising from Muse, and I'm just laughing. It came out on August 4th, 2009, Obama's birthday, the first year he was president of the United States, and it's just so fitting. Because that was what they had going right now. The world's going to change for the better. You got the Muse song to, rock out to. You got Obama to believe in, and, of course, on 8-4, Jesuit 84. It's just... United States of America 84. Of course, Muse is from the UK, but let's remember whose logo's over the Prime Minister's door in the UK at 10 Downing Street? That's right, the Jesuit Order's logo is over the door. The sun never sets on Britain. And again, that concert in Rome, by the way, it was in 2013, the same year Pope Francis became the first Jesuit Pope. But the first song they sing, Supremacy, it says, wake, the opening lyrics of the song, the first words that come out of the singer's mouth with the whole Olympic Stadium there rocking in Italy. Wake to see your true emancipation is a fantasy. And again, I mean, it just speaks to everything. Our whole fake history. You learn Gematria, you won't wonder why there's 56 signers on the Declaration of Independence anymore, or why old John Hancock died at 56. But enough of me. Let's go out to the real reason you're all here. The man that should be on even more hours. What's up, Rambo?
Well, thanks for the introduction.
Yeah, you deserve better, honestly, but I do my best, so...
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, well, the title of my presentation today is Nagasaki and the Trident of Neptune, Holy Diver, Rihanna, and 911. So if you followed people who followed my work, at least in recent weeks, I've given multiple examples of how the trident symbol, its importance in human history, and usually at these major events, it is actually a symbol of destruction. So it invites destruction, it invites persecution more than anything else. And the prime example would be what is going on at the moment. The epicenter of world geopolitics is Ukraine, and the symbol of Ukraine is a trident. And it doesn't just start now for Ukraine. It's been throughout its history. This country that's associated with a trident has had a Holocaust, they call it Holodomor, a starvation Holocaust. It's had a nuclear meltdown. It's considered the worst nuclear accident in world history. And there seems to be a nuclear, which I'm going to, like you saw in my headline, Nagasaki. There is a nuclear element to this. So it's a pretty intense. When you go nuclear, then that shows you the level of intensity of this desire, for whatever reason, to destroy this symbol. Nuclear is as powerful as you can get as far as weapons of destruction. But yeah, so the country with the Trident has seen the worst nuclear disaster in human history. And so in the title, I'm alluding to Nagasaki. So it gets worse. So Other trident examples, most people are familiar with her, but some are not. The World Trade Center, 9/11, you don't think of it as a trident-oriented event, but it was. When you see the design of the Twin Towers from ground level, the Twin Towers were just a series of tridents, put into the design, And it was most likely built for that specific purpose. It's pretty clear what they think of that symbol when you put them into a structure like that, and then it ends up the way it is. And then they have the 9/11 memorial, where they have the remains, the battered remains of the tridents. But people don't understand the context in which they're doing it. They're doing it in the way a hunter puts up a photograph, maybe of a, maybe you shot a bear or this huge moose, and you have a big photograph with the moose, or you do a taxidermy. That's the context that they're displaying those tridents in the World Trade Center Memorial. It's not out of regret. And most people don't even really think of it. Most people don't think of tridents, they don't associate it. It's a very subtle detail that's not noticed. But when you go to the memorial, it's front and center, the trident. So that they're actually telling you that's what it was about, because that's the centerpiece of the 9/11 memorial, which is not something that people automatically associate. So they're actually telling you what it was. And so that's exactly that example. I gave the example of the back-to-back Malaysia Airlines. One just disappeared. You can't even call it a crash, just like a disappearance. And those were the logo for Malaysia Airlines is two horizontal tridents. And I also gave another example would be the Munich air disaster. This is very famous in world history, especially in the world of sports. The Manchester United. Some people consider it the most widely supported sports franchise in the world. Some people dispute that, but it is. It's up there as one of the most widely supported franchises in the world. They had a famous air crash in 1958. The association of the trident there is in their crest. Their crest has this little devil-like figure holding up a trident. So they are associated with the trident. And the fact that the trident is associated with the devil in the first place is a desecration. It's a demonization of the symbol when you associate it with the devil. And there's another symbol I'll talk about, not just the trident, it's also the pentagram. The pentagram is also associated with the devil. And these are just demonizations of these figures because they stood for other things as well. And so this could reference an ancient war. When you see where these symbols came from, the suggestion is that they might be referencing an ancient war between the quote-unquote gods. In fact, there are parts of India, in the Bhagavad Gita, they do talk about a war, an ancient war in ancient times, and they're describing what seems to be nuclear weapons, and there is a part of India where there's a high rate of radiation, and there are the remains of an ancient city, an ancient advanced city, advanced for its time, where you can see that the people, they almost melted into the buildings, into the roads, into the sidewalk. They all died at once. It wasn't like they died, they weren't buried, like people were going about their lives and they just suddenly died. And there's high radiation there. So there is some scientific indication that there were what could have been nuclear weapons in the past, in ancient times. And then India has the strongest evidence that that could be the case. And so, there seems to be this allusion to an ancient, intense war. And if you look at the Sumerian mythology, that's where you'll see the trident. It was Anu. Anu was the chief deity, and his consort, his wife, is Ashura, and they're associated with the sea. Ashura's moniker is "She who treads on the sea," and Anu, he gave his trident. He bestowed it upon his son Enki. Enki became the other civilizations in ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet, Enki was Ptah, but Egypt didn't use the trident, but Poseidon is the equivalent in Greece. Greece associated the trident with Poseidon, and Rome, their version of Neptune, and they used the trident. But for some reason, Egypt did not use the trident, but Neptune and Poseidon are Enki, which comes from Anu. That's the ancient war, an intense war, between the Enki and Enlil faction. So this war could be going on today. And so there are different versions of the trident. There are different styles, like the Malaysia Airlines, they have their style. Ukraine has a very unique style for their trident. All these unique styles. But there's the glyph, it's called a glyph or a symbol for the planet Neptune, is a distinct style. and it features in the middle an upside down cross. I've talked about what this upside down cross means before. It's called St. Peter's cross, and it's a zodiacal term. It refers to what in astrology they call the mutable signs. The mutable signs of the zodiac occur at the end of each season. So it's Gemini at the end of spring, Virgo at the end of summer, Sagittarius at the end of fall, and Pisces at the end of winter. And Pisces is very important here. So that's what the upside down cross is called, the mutable cross. And Pisces ruling planet is Neptune. So when you see the upside down cross and the glyph for the planet Neptune, it's there's a lot in there, and it does reference more than any other zodiac sign at Pisces. This is a big symbol for Pisces, and so the biggest, I haven't said it yet, but of all the destruction of the trident symbols I've talked about, this is the biggest one of all, bigger than 9/11, and that was the nuclear bomb that was dropped by the United States on the city of Nagasaki, Japan, on August 9th in 1954.
I think you mean 45.
Trident comes in.
45. 45.
Did I say? Oh, okay, 45, okay.
I just gotta remind you of one thing about August 9th. It's the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Jesuit Order 144, and it happened in 45. IHS 45. Okay, I'm done.
Yes, I do talk more about a Jesuit connection. So yeah, it was 45. Thank you for correcting that. I did show I do have a clip here in the visual where it says 45 with the mushroom cloud over Nagasaki, and where the trident comes in is in the official city seal, the seal for the city of Nagasaki, as well as the city flag of Nagasaki. If you're not looking at the visual is very big here. If you don't see the visual, the seal for the city of Nagasaki it's a pentagram. In the middle of the pentagram are 5 tridents, but not just any trident, because like I said, they come in different styles. Malaysia Airlines has a different style trident. The Ukraine has a very unique trident. They all use different stylized trident. The tridents in the seal of the city of Nagasaki are specifically the glyph for Neptune, because they contain that upside down cross in the middle. So it's not just a unique Nagasaki trident. No, these are Neptune symbols. So this Nagasaki has 5 Neptune tridents in the middle of a pentagram, and in the middle of the pentagram is a pentagon. So yeah, so this is the biggest of all the trident destruction rituals, and it shows you the intensity of, apparently there's some group of people, their hatred for this symbol, and you mentioned who they are, and there's more to it, which I'll mention. So in ancient Rome, there was an annual celebration day for the god Neptune, and that was July 23rd or 23rd July, could be written 237. And the Trinity, the famous Trinity nuclear test, and again, Trinity, why do they call it Trinity? Again, this allusion to a trident. They have this thing against this. The Trinity, a famous Trinity nuclear test in New Mexico was a successful nuclear test that led to this. And the bomb, the test bomb was nicknamed the Gadget. Now, you call it has Agrippa or Latin cipher or Jewish cipher on the Gematrinator. The Gadget sums to 237, like the day 23rd July, which is Neptunalia, the day that celebrates Neptune. And so there's some parallels with 9/11. And it is pretty clear. Number one, it's the trident. So once you're familiar with the trident of 9/11 in the World Trade Center designs, but also the pentagrams, because on the Nagasaki seal, the 5 essentially Neptune tridents, Neptune glyphs, they're all clustered in the middle of the pentagram, which is a pentagon. So you have these 2 symbols, the pentagon and the tridents, and these are directly related to 9/11. These were symbols that were destroyed on 9/11, the pentagon and the tridents. And so 41, so the trident symbol is not just, it's Enki, but he got it from his father, Anu, and Anu's consort is Ashura, and Ashura is she who treads on the sea. So it's a symbol of, sea deities. But Ashura is related to the Roman Venus, and in Rome they say, in their mythology, Venus, the goddess Venus, emerged from the sea out of a seashell. Well, that's a reference to Ashura, because Ashura is she who treads on the sea. And so Venus is related to this. And another celebration day, which I'll allude to, the celebration day for Venus was Veneralia. And that was April 1st. In fact, one of the reasons they put April Fool's Day, because April Fool's Day it's a relatively new, didn't call it a holiday, but it's a new, celebration day, if that's what you want to call it. But Veneralia is an ancient, celebration day, and it celebrates Venus. They could have put April Fool's Day on pretty much any day they chose. They chose Veneralia specifically to desecrate Venus. Venus is the target of a lot of their rituals, and so April 1st is very important. That is Veneralia. It venerates Venus, and the pentagram and pentagon are symbols of Venus, which is Ashura. And 41 is a major to the 9/11 code. Construction of the Pentagon began in the year 41 on September 11th. And again, September 11th has 2001 has 41 numerology. 9 plus 11 plus 20 plus 01 is 41. In Gematria, Al-Qaeda is 41. Airplanes is 41. So it's a big part of 9/11. And 9/11 featured airplanes primarily, and April 1st, that date, 4/1, is related to airplanes. The United States Department of Transportation and the National Transportation Safety Bureau were both founded on April 1st. So it's a major day. And again, I'm talking about Veneralia. Well, the city of Nagasaki was officially proclaimed a city on April 1st, 1889. So this is another connection that Nagasaki has to this. They stick to these rituals. You can see when there's this many examples over, different locations over long periods of time. It's a pattern. They stick to this, and it means something. And we'll see more in the future, apparently, if they continue to do this. But we'll see. But I'm trying to look at where this all comes from, what might be going on. And so Venus that's the pentagon. We established the importance of Venus. Well, in Gematria, 81 is a huge Venus code number, because Venus, in the simplest cipher, ordinal, sums to 81. And the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki on a date of 81 numerology. 8 plus 9 plus 19 plus 45 is 81, a big Venus number. There's also the twin symbolism they have in common, because you had the twin towers of 9/11, and you had twin bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So twin symbolism is in everything. It's literally in everything. They're really obsessed with the twin symbolism. And also the term ground zero. Ground zero is a nuclear term, and it's also a term that they used for 9/11. Now, this is the Jesuit thing I was going to mention. When I looked at the page on Wikipedia page on Nagasaki, the history of Nagasaki, they said there's a whole title on the page. It's like the second, one of the early paragraphs. They say Nagasaki as a Jesuit port of call. And so, you want to look into that more, but it is directly associated with Jesuits. Jesuits picked there. I mean, Japan, that's a long way from, Italy and France. They went out of their way. That's the other side of the world, literally. But they picked Nagasaki significantly. And you think it's coincidence that they settled there and then this happens in the future? But it was a major Jesuit port of call. Wikipedia highlights this whole section on just the Jesuit connection. That's Wikipedia making the connection. They made it, Jesuit in Nagasaki. So, so you're right, talking about the 144. Yeah, that's why you see that 144. And as I alluded before, the planet Neptune rules the zodiac sign of Pisces, which is relevant. But Pisces actually has two ruling planets, interestingly, which is Neptune and Jupiter. Jupiter is actually associated with Enlil, while Neptune is associated with Enki. And those are the two planets that rule Pisces. And those are the two planets that are associated with the Sumerian War of the Gods. And I pointed out many times, when you see the fish in the Pisces symbol, they're swimming in opposite directions. They're always in opposite. It's not like two fish. Just no. They could be in any direction or both in the same direction. It's very important that they are swimming in opposite directions. The fish are in opposition. That's Enki Enlil. Now, some people say it's not literal. Maybe it's not literal. Maybe it is. Maybe this whole Enki Enlil thing is symbolic or figurative, or maybe it's not. Or maybe they are physical entities who, for whatever reason, identify. But even if it's just symbolism, it's still being taken seriously in events. And we can see who's behind it. I mean, there's this Jesuit connection. And the Jesuits identify with Jupiter. St. Peter, the statue of St. Peter at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, it is literally a statue of Jupiter. Jupiter and Zeus are pictured sitting on a throne with 1 foot forward. That's exactly how St. Peter is depicted. And a statue of the Roman god Jupiter, like 1900 years old, was taken out of Italy to St. Petersburg, to a city named after St. Peter. Why would you take a statue of Jupiter, the god, to a city named after St. Peter? They're communicating who St. Peter is. It's Jupiter. And that's who Enlil, who identifies with, and his bitter enemy was his half-brother Enki, whose symbol was a trident. Then you see a city who even Wikipedia will highlight right at the top of the page is with the Jesuits on the other side of the world. The Jesuits decided this city has important to us, and then you see a trident being destroyed. So, I mean, yeah, this Sumerian War of the Gods does appear when you just look at the symbols to be related to the events that are happening. Now, there's a moniker, a nickname for the planet Neptune, which is the black and blue, because the planet Neptune is blue and it has some black spots. There's a big black spot on the planet Neptune. There's a smaller one and a bigger one. So that earned Neptune the moniker the black and blue. So very big hit, one of the biggest classic hits in rock music is the song Holy Diver by the band Dio. And their frontman is Ronnie James Dio, one of the all-time greats of rock and roll. He actually wrote a song which in an interview, he hinted at the fact that this song Holy Diver is about Neptune. I mean, obviously not everyone's familiar with that song, but in the lyrics, he does reference the black and blue. He says, "You've been down too long in the black and blue." I'd actually like to give a shout out to Stevie from Knoxville. He's the one who actually told me about this song, about the connection of Holy Diver. So it's a big shout out because this is a huge connection. And he directed me to an interview where Dio actually does spell it out. Well, he doesn't say Neptune, but it's obvious what he's referring to.
Rambo,
I understand the Neptune symbolism.
I gotta say, it's funny you bring up this band because we had Jeff Young on Sunday night on the Sunday Night Show, and it'd be great to have you on the Sunday Night Show sometime if you want to come on, Rambo. But he brought up Dio, and he goes, "You guys all know what that means, right?" And I said, "No, what's it mean?" And then he just kept talking on about his point. I didn't want to interrupt him because he had so many things to say, but do you know what the band name is about?
No, Dio is God.
It's just another word for God, huh? Dionysus?
But this is relevant to this. What God are they referring to? Here we're talking about Neptune and Jupiter and stuff. Those are the gods. Enki, Enlil, those are the gods. So, if maybe that could be the reference. But Dio means God.
Okay.
I watched the Sunday Night Show. I watched the interview with Jeff.
Yeah.
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah. He did. I don't think he heard my question.
That actually kind of jogged my memory. What is that?
I said I don't think he heard my question when I asked him. So he had a lot to say, but I was like, I wonder what it means. I forgot to ask him again later. So.
Yeah, that's actually what made me think, maybe this is a good time, because I had this thing, I haven't talked about Nagasaki yet, because I was talking a lot about tridents. I said, let me just move away from the trident thing. I've done a lot on the trident, but this is the biggest trident destruction of all of them, bigger than 9/11. I figured this is a good time to do it, because since he mentioned Holy Diver, so it's good, yeah, and Dio. Since he mentioned he opened for Dio, then yeah, this is, I think, a good time to connect it, because it all goes back to Neptune. And Dio pretty much, listen, when you understand the symbolism, you know what Dio was talking about. I actually leave a link at the bottom to the Dio interview, and you'll hear what he says. But I have some excerpts here. The song is Holy Diver. It's like one of the biggest hits in the history of, pop rock or hard rock, rock and roll, whatever you want to label it. So one of the things that, this is what Dio says in the interview is, quote, the song Holy Diver is about a Christ figure who, on another place, he said, in another place, he said on another planet, actually, not Earth, has done exactly the same as we've supposed to have experienced on Earth, dying for the sins of man so that man can start again and be cleansed. That's Dio's, from his words, what the song Holy Diver is about. It's somebody from another planet, he said, not Earth, who's done this before and wants to do it again. So you're talking about somebody reincarnating, a savior reincarnating. But what does that have to do with Neptune? Well, like he said, you've been down. So in the song, Dio is actually taking the position of those who persecute. He's not supporting this savior. And if you see the lyrics of the song, if this was what it means, like he says, he's not encouraging this figure. He's actually on the side of those persecuting. They even say, Holy Diver, you've been down too long in the black and blue. What does that mean? You've been in Neptune too long. Neptune is the black and blue. And Neptune is the trident. And you get Trinity. And you can see, if the lyrics are just kind of mocking, something's coming for you. Like, oh, no need to look so afraid. Like, he's completely mocking this Christ figure in the song. And the figure comes from Neptune. And then you think of 9/11, how it's 9/11 is said to be the birth of Jesus Christ. And you have the twin pillars with the tridents. This all lines up. So what he says is, Holy Diver is an entity that is, quote, I'm quoting him, about to go to another world to do what he did in this place. Save them from sins by having himself killed. So,
Rambo, commercial just snuck up on us. We'll be right back, everybody. Quick break. That's how it is on TFR. Sit tight.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move.
When you have a great melody,
a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes app.
You've been the big guy for 6 months now in the White House. Can you take us behind the scenes, something that was extraordinary or unusual that happened that stands out to you?
Here's the deal. I want to say,
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
Come on.
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean?
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
What do you think, huh?
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or something, whether those aliens are here or not, and you can walk and say, I just don't like the way that guy wears his top. It's like telling your kid, I tell you what, you're 4 years old when you see a red light cross the street. I grew up in a neighborhood where you became a cop, a firefighter, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any one of them. So here I am. And by the way, one of the things I've gotten able to get done, let me finish the question. The answer. I want to say,
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
Come on.
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
You think I'm joking? I'm not. You know what I mean?
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
What do you think, huh?
I like to walk out on the road to go in.
I mean, QAnon. The idea that the Democrats, the Biden is hiding people and sucking the blood of children, and I don't care
if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. The fact is, you may not like me, and that's your right. Well, I'm sitting across from Putin. He knows who I am. Joe Biden. What's that all about? You're the big man. I think, yay! I know who he is. Love Putin. But again, one last thing. We don't talk enough to you about this, I don't think. Here's the deal. What? I want to say, oh, if I like to walk out on the road to go in. What? Come on. If I like to walk out on the road to go in. You think I'm joking? I'm not, you know what I mean? If I like to walk out on the road to go in. What do you think, huh? If I like to walk out on the road to go in.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Conditional inch. Conditional inch. Situation delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We got 2 hours left, and Rambo is right in the middle of another brilliant presentation, and you got the floor, friend.
Thanks. Also, another part of Holy Diver, the Holy Diver lyrics, Dio does reference the tiger. The tiger is Jupiter. The planet Jupiter is a striped planet, kind of orangish, brownish, and white stripes. So the tiger is a metaphor for the planet Jupiter. You know, Jupiter is Enlil. Neptune is Enki. Dio in Holy Diver references the tiger. He says, ride the tiger. You can see his eyes, but you know he's clean. He mentions the tiger. The tiger is Jupiter. So all that symbol, if you understand the symbolism, it's pretty kind of in the interview. He pretty much tells you what that song is about. And you see these things in real life. The same symbols appear in real life. So this is something that is, it's at the center of whatever is dictating the script of world events. It's this, you can call it mythology. So there's Rihanna synchronicity. And, Neptune rules Pisces, as I said. The planet Neptune rules Pisces. Rihanna's a Pisces. And she's from she's from Barbados. And Barbados has a trident on its flag. So she very much is, you know, a central figure, you know, around the trident. That's her country symbol, and it's her zodiac sign's ruling planet symbol. So she's a trident symbol, Rihanna. And another symbol, this is important, of Neptune, Poseidon, the god, not the planet, but the god, Neptune, Poseidon, is the horse. And she does a song, Diamonds. One of her biggest hits is a song called Diamonds. And it features horses, primarily Mustangs. Mustangs are a big part of that, and most people see that video don't understand. Well, it's just, horses are just beautiful creatures, stunningly beautiful creatures. No, it's a Neptune reference. Directly, it's a Neptune reference. Horses are symbols of Neptune and Poseidon, and she's a Pisces. So all that symbolism goes into mainstream culture. I actually did a video on that. It's on Patreon. It's for patrons. It's one of my exclusive patron videos. On that video, in my Trident series and other things, it's about Rihanna and the award she got and the importance of her, and the flag of Barbados, which is blue and yellow, and the trident. Where else do we see blue and yellow in the trident? In Ukraine. So I did do a video on that on Patreon. And so So that is symbolism regarding Neptune with Rihanna. It's in her video Diamonds, and Diamonds is important as well. And I sent a link to an article, or you can just look it up, that it actually, scientists say that it actually rains diamonds on the planet Neptune and also on the planet Uranus. And as far as the ancient Sumerian gods go, Anu, who's the father of Enlil and Enki, he's related with Uranus. That's what, his name is in the name Uranus. Anu, A-N-U, is right in the middle. And he's the one who he gave the trident to Enki. So it's on Neptune and Uranus that it rains diamonds. So diamonds are a symbol of Neptune as well, and Uranus. And again, in the song Holy Diver, Dio does reference diamonds. He does talk about, so that's reference too. And then again, that's another Neptune reference, all these Neptune symbols. And again, so Holy Diver, like he said in the interview, I put a link to that interview. You can hear what he says about it. Again, a big shout out to Stevie. He's the one who told me about this interview. And he also told me about the fact that it rains diamonds on Neptune, which I didn't know. Big shout out. So yeah, link to the video. But at the end of Rihanna's video, Diamonds, again, Neptune rules the sea realm. She's in the sea. And like Dio said, this is about a figure from another planet, and we know what it says, because he says, you've been down too long in the black and blue. So he's telling you where this Christ figure is from Neptune. And at the end of Rihanna's Diamonds video, she's in the sea in a crucifixion pose. So this synchronizes with what Dio is talking about. She's a Neptune figure, and she's a crucifixion figure as well. And 9/11, they're saying, was the birth of Christ. This all synchronizes. And then one last thing is 3 Mile Island. I said, hold on.
Right, before you go to 3 Mile Island, do you know what day the single came out for Diamonds?
I did it in my I forgot.
Oh, you covered that part already?
No, I did, but I forgot what day it was. Yeah.
Oh, it came out on the day that the Jesuits were recognized by Roman history, and they do a lot of Jesuit stuff with Rihanna, as we've been talking about. So, September 27th is the day it came out.
Oh, yeah, okay, good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't make it up. If you just go to the Nagasaki page, it says, boom, Jesuits right there.
I was going to say, about your whole point about Neptune, I forgot to finish the thought. September 27th leaves 95 days left in the year. Neptune is 95 in the most simple cipher. Again, the Jesuits created to counter the 95 Theses. So what a day to put out that video that's a reference to Neptune. I mean, it just backs up the point you're making.
Yeah, and he is a crucifixion figure. And this jibes perfectly with what Dio is saying. So Holy Diver and Diamonds, 2 songs, like you wouldn't think they have anything to do with. They have some hard rock song and then a pop song all these years apart. No, but the symbolism it's ancient and it continues. And this is the symbol. That's the premise of my channel. I mean, everyone doesn't know my channel is the Truth Codes, and the premise is that the events that happened in modern times and throughout history, pop culture and actual news events are based on ancient archetypes and gematria, allegories and mythology. Some of this mythology is not really, some is symbolism, some is not. Some is probably literal, actual historical, and not symbolic. And some stories can be both. They can both be symbolic and historic, actual events. Like some entities, they could be actual physical entities and also like deities. But this is what the basis of, and I think this demonstrates it. This is all based on ancient archetypes and ancient allegories. And 3 Mile Island, this is the last part of the Trinity, Trident, and then there's this nuclear thing. It tells you this, the degree of, I don't know, hatred, even, it comes from fear, actually. If you're going this far out of your way to destroy a symbol, that's an immense amount of fear that you have of the symbol, that you have to go this far out of your way to destroy it. So they're afraid of it, clearly, whatever it means. I mean, I don't say I exactly know what it means. I hadn't, as much of as an idea I can get from this, but clearly they're concerned by the symbol. And so 3 Mile Island, that's a reference to trident. But 3 Mile Island, Pennsylvania, it's located in Dauphin County, Daufin County, that location. Now, if you do a translation, Dauphin, in French, it's pronounced Dauphin. Dauphin is dolphin in English. And what is a dolphin a symbolism? A symbol of? Neptune. A dolphin is a symbol of Neptune, Poseidon.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's the presentation for today.
Interesting. Well, appreciate it as always. I love the way you're connecting more and more the astrology and the gematria. And yeah, you might want to add in there that single released on the day, leaving 95 days left in the year, going right there with Neptune in the most simple cipher, the one that most people can grasp. So, anyhow.
Yep.
Great work. Was there anything else you wanted? Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you actually, Rambo, is the Pentagon. Where are the tridents in the Pentagon? I'm trying to see it.
No, there are no tridents in the Pentagon, but 9/11 included the tridents on the World Trade Center.
Right.
And then the Pentagon separately. So it's just that those two symbols were a big part of the ritual for the day. The Pentagon
I see.
And the tridents. But still for the city of Nagasaki, they combined them, where they have the tridents inside the Pentagon.
Okay, now it makes perfect sense. And again, I'll remind people, you talked about Nagasaki. Hiroshima got bombed on August 6th, which can be written 6/8, just like how all the World Trade Center stuff went into motion in 68. And again, nuclear weapons 68, nuclear energy is 68. They did the big thing with Chernobyl in 68 when Russia supposedly went into Ukraine, as we talked about. And don't forget, the first nuclear energy site in the world, Hanford, they cleared the town of Hanford out on the 68th day of the year. In 43, where nuclear is 43. So.
Yeah, I also talked about Manchester United and their famous Munich air disaster, which I did a video on that. I got a very good response from that. If you haven't seen it, it's on the Truth Code. So the Munich air disaster, even if you're not a soccer fan, this has more to do with soccer, has to do with this. Manchester United has a trident in their team crest. The nickname is the Red Devils. And 10 years after the crash, which is 1958, the big symbol there was the manager, Matt Busby. He's a legend, a huge, larger-than-life legend in English soccer. It's almost like he's almost like a mythological figure. But he survived the crash, and the team was decimated. And then his life story is like something out of a movie. He survives the crash. They said his final rites were read twice while he's in the hospital. Who knows if that happened? But that's what they say. That they thought he was gone, and his final rites were read twice in the hospital. He had to rebuild the team, which they thought he wouldn't even come back. Not only did he come back, but his final crowning glory of his career was in 68, the year 68, when he won. It's called the European Cup. It's like a tournament of champions between European countries. All their champions play a separate tournament, and no English team had ever won it. So he survived the crash, twice cheated death, rebuilt the team miraculously, because they thought they'd never come back after that. And in 68, again, so here's again, like you were mentioning, that then 68, an association with the trident again. But 68 is also Hermes, but that's a whole other thing, because Mercury is related to this as well. Mercury's Hermes. Because Mercury is 86, Hermes 68. But I don't put too many factors, it gets confusing, but the trident in 68 is seen also with the story of the Manchester United Munich air disaster. And again, airplanes, again, you see a theme they have.
Have you watched the movie? Have you watched the movie Aquaman?
No, I have not.
You might pick up on a lot of stuff in that movie, because the beginning is clearly a tribute to 9/11. I mean, it's undeniable. And Aquaman equals 68 in the most simple cipher, so you might enjoy that one.
So very often, you'll see that trident and Mercury / Hermes association. over and over. Like you'll see John F. Kennedy is a Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and he died on the trident of the Dealey Plaza. It's an association you see a lot. Also, airplanes are transportation, which is the realm of Mercury. So the airplanes are a big part of this. So yeah, I have more videos I'll do on this to connect more dots and give more examples. It's a lot of information to take in all at once. That's why I don't want to do too much on the Mercury stuff.
The imagery you show of Dallas with the trident, is that actually going into Dealey Plaza, or is that like coming off the interstate in Dallas?
I think you can go onto the interstate and come off it.
You're right.
Like from Elm Street, I think from the Elm Street will take you to. Yeah, it's a major kind of intersection. Yeah, you can get. They even say it's a pretty confusing place to drive. Like you can't turn right, can't turn left, or you have to be in. Yeah, so it can be a little confusing. But yeah, that's Dealey Plaza. Yeah.
Maybe I wonder if where his brother got shot in '68, at least so we're told. I wonder if there was a trident somewhere on that building. So
I think the trident was for JFK because he represents Mercury because he's a Gemini. There's this association with the trident and Mercury. Like Mercury rules Gemini. The Twin Towers are a symbol of Gemini, and they have the trident on them. Okay. Just like I said with the Manchester United air disaster, transportation, airplanes, that's the realm of Mercury. Mercury rules travel and transportation. And Matt Busby, I said, he's this legendary English coach, is a mythological character. He's a Gemini. That's in my decode. And so he's Mercury, and he wins it in '68. So I don't know if they have a trident RFK because he doesn't represent Mercury. Mercury is usually Mercury and Venus. It's usually Mercury, Venus, and the trident, which are persecuted together. Like here you see it's Venus and Neptune, the 9/11, the tridents and the pentagram. But it's those three. Now, if you think of the location of the Mercury and Venus, those are the two planets between Earth and the Sun. So they have a unique, and they're both morning stars. So technically, no one thinks of Mercury as a morning star, but Mercury is a morning star. It's just that it's so small and not as bright. But it's like Venus. You see it just before the sun comes up and right before the sun comes down, in that transition period between day and night, night and day. So Mercury also is a morning star. So they have that in common. And if you think about all the symbolism that I'm pointing out here, the trident, morning star, pentagram, what are those all associated with? With Satanism and the devil, because they've been demonized. And I don't want to. I want to just leave it like a Neptune thing. I didn't really want to talk about the Mercury thing because it's already a lot of information to kind of absorb. But yeah, that's why I don't think RFK would have. Maybe he does. I don't know, but I don't think he would have a trident necessarily.
Okay.
Because JFK was Mercury. Yeah. JFK was Mercury, just like 9/11.
Sure. RFK has the same birthday as Joe Biden. So.
Oh, okay.
November 20th. Yeah. Yeah. For people who don't know, RFK, most simple cipher, 46. Joe Biden with the same birthday becomes number 46. An election 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. JFK killed at 46. 46 books in the Catholic Bible. So anyway. Awesome work, Rambo. Appreciate it as always. And again, for all the people out there, Rambo's YouTube channel, The Truth Codes. He sounds even better on his own channel because he's got his fancy mic and he's actually quite talented at making videos, so check it out.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the compliment.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, keep up the great work, Rambo. If you have any more thoughts, you're welcome to share them now, or if that's it, you're also welcome to carry on with your evening.
No, it's a lot of information to take in already, so I don't want to overwhelm people with information. But yeah, thanks for the time, man.
Okay, Rambo. You have a good night. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah.
All right, next in line is George. Always dependable. What's up, George?
Hello, Zach. So I heard you. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing, I suppose, as well as you can do in these times. Thank you.
Okay, so you said you won't be doing a show for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, because I'll be on the road.
TFR, rather.
I'll be on the road, so.
Okay, so are you going to do a Sunday show this upcoming Sunday?
Possibly. I want to make sure I'm done with my book before I leave, so it all depends, but possibly.
Okay, so are you doing the 4-minute timer tonight?
Well, I didn't turn it on yet, so you better start before I put it on.
Okay, a couple of things. I don't believe you've covered this. I know other people have, but this has to do with California. Now, I know a few days ago there was allegedly a shooting in Sacramento, California, our capital. And I know you've already covered that before. What I did want to talk to you about is a couple of things dealing with the state of California, specifically our legislature. And I'd like to talk about a state senator, Richard Pan, and a state representative, Buffy Weeks. Are you familiar with them?
I recognize their names, but tell me more.
Okay, so yes, that is his name. Well, I'm not sure if these are their real names or if they've actually written any legislation. Okay, so just to whet your appetite regarding Pan, he was born on October the 28th, 1965. And as you've mentioned several times before, that's the same birthday as Bill Gates and Jonas Salk. Now, Pan is a medical doctor. He got his medical degree from University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. And he got his undergrad degree from Johns Hopkins. Now, as you said before, that was founded by, I believe, Daniel Gilman, who was a member of Skull and Bones. You know, another thing about Pan, another fact about Pan is he is a member of Alpha Omega Alpha, which is a medical secret society. Salk was also a member of this. Now, Pan became a state senator back in 2014. In 2019, he allegedly authored a bill which would basically eliminate non-medical exemptions for childhood vaccines, K through 12. He's also allegedly has authored several other bills to basically clamp down on any sort of dissenting medical views, clamping down on dissenting, that would actually clamp down on any dissenting doctors. Also, there was a state representative by the name of Buffy Wicks. Now, there again, I don't know if that's her real name. Now, when you say the name Buffy Wicks, I automatically think of the old TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
Are you there?
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember.
Okay, and that also reminds. Now, her name is Wicks. Well, what is a wick? It's basically like a strap that is connected to a candle. It's something that burns.
Right.
Now, that is her main name. She is married, but she did not change her name. So, and just to get back to Richard Pan, you know who the Greek god Pan was?
Remind me.
Okay, he was the god of spring and new births, children. He was portrayed as basically a goat man. He had a man's head and a goat's body with horns. So it looked somewhat like Baphomet. He was noted for playing his flute. And when he played this, people would get scared. And this is the derivation of the term panic. So, he has, now I'm not sure, as I said, if Pan is his real name. Okay, so Buffy Wicks was born on August the 10th, 1977. She got her undergrad degree from University of Washington. Now, even though that's essentially a secular school, the Jesuits run it. If you just look at the board of trustees, one of the members of the board of trustees for University of Washington is David Zeke. He got his undergrad degree from Rockhurst University in Kansas City, Missouri. Another member is Peggy McPhee. She used to be on the board of trustees for the University of Santa Clara. Another member is Blaine Tanamaki. Now, Tanemaki is on the board of trustees for St. Elizabeth Hospital in Yakima, Washington, basically your backyard.
Sure.
So would it be safe to say the Jesuits run University of Washington?
Easily. They think about it. They were the first university. So many things happened in Seattle with the pandemic. University of Washington was the first university to lock down because of COVID. I mean, Costco, the first bill to require masks and put you in a line, Seattle-based. Bill Gates, Seattle-based. Jeff Bezos, Seattle-based. I mean, the first case confirmed in the world outside of China in Seattle. It's just, Seattle has so much to do. Seattle had so much to do with 9/11. It's obvious that Seattle's a very big Jesuit epicenter. So,
okay, just to give you a little bit more about her background. Now, as I mentioned where she got her undergrad degree, she also did an internship at Georgetown University, as well as a place called the Center for American Progress, which was founded by John Podesta. John Podesta got his undergrad degree from Georgetown University. So what is significant about Buffy Wicks besides her name? Well, she's introduced several bills in our legislature, one of which is Assembly Bill 1993, which would have, and now it's been tabled, so it's not being voted on, but it would have basically required every employee in California, even and contractor or subcontractor, to get the shot. Now, it would have been possible to get an exemption, but as I said, that's been tabled. She's also introduced another bill called Assembly Bill 223. Did you catch that? That's the inverse of 322. Now, I realize people have differing views on abortion, and I'm not going to broach that. But even if you are pro-choice, this is basically, if this bill is passed, it would basically legalize infanticide. So, according to it, children who are born could be killed with impunity for the first 7 days of life. The mother and the doctors would be indemnified from criminal or civil liability for 7 days.
Sure.
So,
hold on, Rambo. Sorry, George. George, it's commercial break. We'll be right back after the break with George and his chorus of dogs tonight. We'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight.
Okay,
Folks that you emulate, they're folks that you idolize, they're folks that you want to be, and you ask yourself constantly, how did they get there? Why are they there? Oh, they got so famous, and you see haters, and you're sometimes a hater, and you marvel at them. But recognize, who was John Legend before John Legend? John Legend. Who was Barack before 2009? Barack. Right? He was still the same person, so to speak. So understand those people that you see that are up there just made a shift in their way of thinking about themselves that elevated them to the position that you see them in. Instead of idolizing or hating on someone or wondering how did they get there, start looking at yourself and say, I can be there. I'm here. But what do I have to change to be there? So who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? What thread was sewn to design the fabric that is you?
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Anne, before I started using this product, every afternoon my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent from Strange World, broadcasting live every Tuesday evening, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on True Frequency Radio. Strange World covers a wide range of topics, from enclosed world theory to lunar waves to the end of the world in film. It's basically doomsday with a silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things conspiracy and promote confidence, hope, and humor whenever possible. If there's a topic you want us to cover or a guest you would like to see interviewed, please email me at msargent23@comcast.net. So please join me and tell your friends about True Frequency Radio, the leader in real radio programming, bringing you quality, cutting-edge broadcasts from around the world.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. We're halfway through the show. We got an hour and a half left. Again, we'll be taking your calls the rest of the night. The number to call in, 213-233-3998. We actually don't have a lot of callers tonight, so I'll let you guys go a little bit longer. It's actually, I don't know what's going on tonight, but nobody's listening to TFR apparently. So back to George. George, are those dogs hungry? George is back on.
Well, I hope not. I just fed them. So anyhow, I'll tell you about a couple of state legislatures here in California. Senator Richard Pan and Congresswoman, Assemblywoman Buffy Wicks. Now, this is something I was curious about. Do they? I mean, as soon as you have to have the right birthday, such as with Pan, as I said, October the 28th, and sometimes you have to have the right name or they'll change it. But you have to wonder, is the mayor of San Francisco is London Breed? Is that her real name?
Exactly. What a name. And remember how she became mayor? Because Ed Lee dropped dead by the numbers, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, it does seem a bit suspicious to me. And, well, you know, you're talking about Sacramento over the weekend, and that, okay, I need to watch my language.
For people who don't know, just to throw this out there about London Breed, again, her birthday is August 11th, which is a really big date in San Francisco history. The permit to build the Golden Gate is dated August 11th. You know, of course, Robin Williams' Bay Area died on that day suspiciously. Alcatraz opened on that day in history. Claire, who's related to St. Francis of Assisi, that's the day in history she died. And, of course, San Francisco is named after St. Francis of Assisi. But a lot of stuff with August 11th in San Francisco history. Now it just so happens the mayor's birthday is August 11th. And with regards to the bridge connection, that's a big number with the Golden Gate Bridge is number 45, and she's the 45th mayor. And, of course, London's known for its very famous bridge. London Bridge is falling down, and, of course, when the Queen dies, the operation will be called London Bridge. But, yeah, London Breed, just one of those unbelievable names, and in that very interesting city, San Francisco. You know, the city that brought homosexuality to the world, you could almost say. The city that, well, just so many things about that city. I mean, even Alcatraz is a prison. You know, Gavin Newsom, big-time Jesuit area is San Francisco. But, yeah, London Breed, just one of the most curious names there ever was. Oh, not to mention the Church of Satan was established in San Francisco. Let's not forget that. And why was the Church of Satan established in San Francisco? It's because it's on the 122nd Meridian West. San Francisco equals 122. Pope Francis 122. Satanic 122. Anyhow, go ahead, George.
Well, of course, and the United Nations actually had its first meeting in San Francisco. I don't recall the date. I know it was in April of 45, so right around the end of the war. Now, you're talking about the shooting the other day in or the alleged shooting in Sacramento. Oh, who knows? Maybe there was. I'm not sure. But I don't have anything concrete to share with you. But there's been all sorts of chicanery and skullduggery that have taken place in Sacramento since at least the 1960s. That is actually where the Black Panthers had their first rally.
Right.
I don't recall the date, but it was in April of 1967. They marched in Sacramento in 16th, and that was perfectly legal under California law. That changed shortly thereafter. Therefore, I probably should, the next time I'm on with you, I probably should give you the details. But now you're going to Oklahoma City, I guess, to commemorate, the 27th anniversary of the bombing there. Well, the following week in 1995, and I know this because I was living in Sacramento, allegedly Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, sent a bomb to a safe building in Sacramento. Now, whether Kaczynski killed anybody, I have no idea. That could have been a complete psyop. So you have the Unabomber in Sacramento, and he was in other places. But you have the Black Panthers marching there. You also had the assassination attempt, or the alleged assassination attempt of Jerry Brown in 1975. So, as I said, they like using Sacramento for their psyops.
True. Yeah, it makes sense, the capital.
Okay, so, but as I said, I wish I can give you something more concrete. But, Jerry Brown was a Shriner Freemason. Ronald Reagan was a 33rd degree Freemason. He was also a Knight of Malta, a Knight of St. John in Jerusalem. So they like using their puppets to, often they'll use their puppets and to elevate them to higher positions. Now, as I said, Richard Penn is a California state senator and Wicks is a state representative. I know this is not the end of the career. They're grooming them for other positions.
Okay.
So, if you can prove yourself to be a scumbag on the lower level, that means, you could probably be a good scumbag on a higher level.
That seems to be the exact way it works. Indeed.
Well, you do have some other calls, so I guess I'll talk to you in a few weeks.
All right, George. Appreciate it as always. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy Oklahoma.
All right. You have a good night. Yeah, it'll be a new place for me. I have not been to Oklahoma before, so here we come. 562, what's going on? (562) All right, 562 must just be listening in tonight. Let's go out to 803. 803, you're on.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, it's there.
How you doing?
Yeah. I was just calling about, I saw an article, it had to do with the Metaverse. Living longer for 150 years in Metaverse, but only if you are willing to permanently leave your physical body and become a living app. Could you look that article up?
Live longer for 150 years in Metaverse, March 29th, 2022. Wow, yeah, okay. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's crazy because, I don't know, it looks like it's sort of creepy because it could have something to do with soul harvesting or something. I know something from the Bible or something. But I was looking on the Gematriator, and think Metaverse equals 108 in the English ordinal, and Elon Musk's Neuralink equals 108 in reverse.
I just got to remind people right away with this thing about 150. Illuminati has Gematria 150. It also has Gematria 120 in the Bilderberg Conference, which is pretty much the Illuminati. It says on their own page, every year they have between 120 and 150 members. Illuminati 120 forwards, 150 in reverse. And I forget, there's something about the Bible, and I forget what it is right now. But anyway, this is creepy. So go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with Russian, was it Russian billionaire Dmitry Ishkov? I don't know if he, it's like part of a 2045 initiative.
I see that.
I don't know if it has anything else to do with, what's the guy's name, Putin or the Ukraine stuff, but yeah, it's creepy. So...
Well, it sounds like it'll help with their population control problems. So, yeah, what kind of promise is that? You got to leave your body, but you'll live for 150 years in a cyber. It's just like, what? That doesn't sound like me anymore. So, anyway.
Yeah, that sounds like, I don't know if it has to do with like a reincarnation loop or something. You're stuck here and
sounds like
you control your soul or something.
Have you ever seen the movie The Island? Have you seen?
Saw it a few times.
Yeah, it's the one where people think like when they win the lottery, they get to go off to this great thing, but really those are the people who essentially they're just getting rid of because they're maintaining their population. They're tricking these people into being excited about ending their life for a sinister agenda, and I don't know. That's just my first thought about this. It's like, leave your physical body, but then you get to live for 150 years in cyberspace? Why, if you're leaving your physical body, why couldn't you just live infinitely in cyberspace? I mean, and what does that mean to leave your physical body? Or maybe they have something envisioned like the Matrix, how they're all hooked up in that liquid in the tubes. I mean, I don't know, but this is weird. So I'm going to look more into this. Appreciate the heads up.
Okay. Oh, last thing. I know you got the Free to Find Truth website. Were you thinking about building an app or something?
For Free to Find Truth? My web development team is supposed to be doing an app for it. I mean, they've been working on it for a while. I thought it would be done by now, but yeah, eventually there should be an app. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Just I don't know if you could do a decode on that story or not, but yeah. Okay.
I will definitely look into it more. So I appreciate the heads up on it. Very interesting. All right. You have a good night. He's out there in Rock Hill. Remember, they had the Philip Adams San Francisco 49er mass murder story and then blamed it on some head condition, and that was a big old 201 ritual. And then the 49ers had a really good season after that. Let's go out to, I believe it's Mr. Stonewood.
It is. Hello, hold on. I just finished the bong hit.
Okay, I thought you were using the volcano. I thought you were vaping over there. You got a vape bong?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I do both.
Oh, okay. All right.
Out of the bong kind of gives you a little bit more of a cerebral effect.
Sure it
whereas
does.
out of the vaporizers and yeah, so that's why.
Okay.
If I'm going to be on TFR, I need the cerebral effect.
Okay.
I want to comment real quick on what that guy was saying right now. That last caller. That's actually a very important topic, and the overwhelming, end game agenda is they're putting all kinds of nanotech in people with vaccines and chemtrails and all this stuff because they really do want to turn us into cyborgs and, modeled after Sophia from the piece that's Sophia and, upload our consciousness into the cloud where God is supposed to be in the cloud. So that's why they call it the cloud. It'll be our new God. And watch the movie The Island was about a bunch of famous people that were like in the real society, and then they had all these people on the island or whatever, and when they won, remember they said like they were just killing them off, but they were taking their organs because they were clones for real people in the real world who needed those organs. Remember how that was the plot of that movie, The Island?
That's
I remember
exactly
Michael
right.
Clark Duncan was in it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It's been a while since I saw it, but you're right. That was the other huge part of what was going on. Exactly. Thank you.
And if you want to look at what this last caller was just talking about in movie form, watch Transcendence with Johnny Depp. They literally upload him into the freaking cloud, and then his wife is like, I don't understand. Where are you? He's like, I'm everywhere now. So that's a very interesting movie. Not many people saw it, but that's literally their end game goal of what they want to do to humanity is transcendence. And then they make it look like it's a positive thing there because he's going to live forever. Now they're telling you only 150 years as a computer program. But anyway, bro, I want to explain something to you, bro. I got a lot of black friends from playing ball all my life, and none of them say bro. The only time they say bro is when they make fun of how white people talk, and they make fun of me, and they go, hey, bro. So when I hear a black guy saying bro, I am reminded of a young Tupac going, hey, bro, I want to be an actor, and we all know how much estrogen is flowing through those guys. So that's what reminds me of. That's what it reminds me of when I hear black guys say, hey, bro.
Sure.
Can you do me a favor and at the end of the show play a song since the other guy did it and it was kind of a hit? I want to do the same thing. It's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you play it at 3/4 speed, it'll be like 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It's called Oil by Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay.
Now, if you've never seen this song and you know who Weird Al Yankovic is, you're going to think that sounds crazy, but that song in 2 minutes and 30 seconds has more disclosure than me and you and anybody else put together can put down in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's actually only half of it is disclosure. The first half is just funny, like a Chris Geo commercial. Everybody's going to laugh. Then the second minute and 15 seconds is all the stuff you talk about, who's running the show and everything, and it's all in video form, and they show the visuals for it, and you're just like, wait, did I just watch that? And I've shown this to people, and they're like, you know what? I've always discounted Weird Al as some bullshit, but after seeing that video, this changes everything. What in the hell?
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. When I'm done with tonight's TFR, I'm just going to upload the music video to my own channel so people can watch it. Because there's a music video to it, too, and it's probably better to watch it that way. But it's Foil by Weird Al Yankovic. Foil, like tin foil. So I've never heard this before. I'm looking forward to this. But the reason I'm not going to do it is because sometimes YouTube reserves the right. They've knocked down a couple videos I did, even though I did on 3/4 speed. I don't want to lose the whole TFR episode in case they choose to be an ass and delete the whole episode over it. So, but I will put it up.
Yeah, perfect. As long as you just mentioned it right now, people will go have a listen and they'll be shocked. They'll be like, oh my God. Anyway, let me get into some of the stuff that I wanted to say today. By the way, I got a lot of answers for you on the health stuff that you asked me for Sunday show. And my prediction for the Sunday show, overtaking Chris Geo's CFR from last week, it looks with a few calls. I may be right in 1 week already. Look at that, less callers this week. Anyway, to touch on what Rambo was talking about, how they're always destroying, twin towers, twin pillars, twin cities. The reason they're doing this is because originally when they, destroyed Atlantis, it was the twin empire too. It was like a city of the land which had a king and the city of the sea which had a king. And that's why now they call it the Holy See. So the center of the land portion was like where Greece is now. That's why all those like 50-foot marble pillars are at the bottom of the Aegean Sea there that are all made out of one piece of marble, like taken out of the mountain. We can't do that today. We have to make it in sections. So, that's in the Mediterranean. Middle, terra, earth, middle of the earth. So 75,000 years ago is when the earth was tilted the 23.5 degrees it is now, giving us seasons. But if you bring it back to where it was originally with the equator going through like Machu Picchu and Giza, if you draw a line, you'll see that, Greece was in the tropics, and so were all the continents, including Antarctica. So all the continents were kind of around the equator, and we didn't have these seasons that we had now. We just had like spring and summer, basically, on different parts of the earth. It was always summer in the equator, and you go a little bit out, it would be spring. There was no land on the poles or anything like that. So that's why they're always destroying twin pillars, and the leaders of these of like there was a king of the land and a king of the sea, and they had these tridents, which were vibrational devices. They show you in the movie Aquaman that it is. They show you in Transformers that it is. And these vibrational devices could, do a lot of things, including control people like their enemies. They had what's called like the Medusa technology, where it could turn you to stone, not actual physical like cement, but just freeze you to where you couldn't move. And in the Lucy movie, they show that when she starts gaining higher percentage powers of her brain, she starts being able to control other people's bodily function, and she'll walk right up to their face and just take something out of their hands and they can't move. So in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth talks about this a little bit, how he pulls out his staff and it lets out a vibration and it just freezes everybody. And then he tells them, listen, I'm way more powerful than you. Just bow down and listen to me right now and I'll let you go. Don't make me have to kill you. So these vibrational devices are these ancient artifacts, some of which they claim are in the catacombs of the Vatican. That's why, they always have their crowns always have 3 points, the main point in the middle and then the 2 on the sides. And they have a tri-state empire, DC, Vatican, City of London, so that the rulership was always 3-pronged from the trident, and they're always destroying like twin cities or twin pillars. What I got for Dio, in my language, Dio means like a piece of something. And then in Spanish, Dia is day. So like when you have like dipole, di means 2 as well. So I know it also means like God, deity. So I don't know. I just threw that in there because it could mean something. What George was just talking about Pan, you have like Pan's Labyrinth, Pandora's Box, Pan Am. When you go in from like the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere from South America, you pass through a country called Panama. So yes, this is definitely important as well. George can just research further into that story and see what, and plus they got Peter Pan. It's a little mixture of, Jupiter and Pan. So there's definitely more stuff behind there. I think maybe that's a little bit too big of a decode to go into on TFR. I'm just going to finish up real quick with the Zachariah Sitchin stuff that I was talking about last week, where I finished off where these guys were, these Anunnaki guys were, manipulating humanity. And just like how you just said, the Jesuits want to make society in their image. It's the same way the real Anunnaki story comes, is we were already created and they wanted to come down here and make us in their image, meaning evil, or not knowing what's evil, knowledge of good and evil. So we were already created and then they made us the way they wanted. So that was definitely on cue how you came up with that. So the real story is, these Anunnaki, there was all kinds of civilizations going on planet Earth, including, the early stages of Atlantis, which didn't start being called Atlantis till about 200 years ago, when the beings from Atlas came, which Atlas is in the Pleiades. So if you come from Atlas, you're an Atlan, and a place that you start would be called Atlantis. So that's when it got its name, Atlantis, even though it existed many thousands of years before that. So these guys that came over here, they were sent to help Earth at first because of the negative invasion. And then you had all these stories about how some of them came here and then they saw that, the women of men of Earth were pretty, and they, instead of helping us, they more so started partying and having sex with our women and things like that. So there you get the blurring of the story of fallen angels versus good guys and blah, blah, blah. And always, again, ruling with vibrational devices, just like how when you go to the doctor and he tells you to cross your knee and he hits your knee with that, vibrational tuning fork. And, that's literally what it's about. And if you look back, what Lucifer was in charge of the frequencies in heaven, right? He was the conductor of the music. So, and when you look at how, the universe and all physicality and non-physicality is created from sound. First there was the word, sound, and then God said, sound, let there be light. So with sound, light was created. So everything is coming out of sound. And when we go into the cymatics presentation on a Sunday show, we're going to get more into how, sound is generating everything. And in the Eastern religions, they have the Om as God. That's why they go so they could put themselves in the frequency of God. And then, you know, in like the Zulu nation and, you know, even older traditions, they believe that the universe was sang into existence with song, you know, like universe, one song, university, one song city, you know, so they're teaching you a different song, the false light song in the university, but that's where all these words and themes come from. I know you don't have that many colors, but I think I'll probably just send it there. All the rest of the stuff's going to take too long to even develop. Needs 5 minutes just to caveat before I start talking. So I think we're good for tonight.
All right. Appreciate the information as always. You're another big hit in this community. Are you? You showed us your Facebook page. Are you putting out content anywhere else in the world right now?
Well, my Facebook page lasted 4 days, so that's on a 30-day ban again for medical misinformation, for posting their stats from the vaccine schedules from 1980s or whatever. My 2 YouTube channels, one is called You Are God and So Am I, like EYE. That one, I mean, maybe a video will last about an hour until they catch it, until it hits the algorithms. And then my other one is called State of the Consciousness, like State of the Union. But it's also the same thing. Every time I post to both channels. They don't even strike me for it. They just take it off. And then, you know, they'll let me go through all the trouble and do it again, and they'll take it off. So if people want to go search my stuff, there's maybe 20, 30 videos on there. You know, they're all 2, 3, 4 years old, whatever. But they won't let me post anything new. Most of that stuff goes on my social media, which gets blocked every 30 days. If somebody's they have all my IP addresses. So if somebody's willing to host something of mine, you know, start a profile and everything, send me the password so I'm game, because I don't have a computer anymore. They burned out 3 of my computers. I'm working off like a phone and a tablet. I mean, you know, I've been doing this like same as you, started in 2013. I was in the first round of censorship, like right around when Flat Earth came out. They just deleted all my stuff. Of course, nothing was backed up. That was my original channel, You Are God and So Am I, with an I. Now it's with EYE. And the next one will be EYE too, if I ever, you know, I mean, there's no point in even starting another one. They just won't let me post anything to it. So they're just kind of spinning my wheels and making me waste my time.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So, all right. Well, maybe somebody can help you out with that. We'll be right back, everybody. Sit tight.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move.
When you have a great melody,
a song lasts
Forever. Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes.
Do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was you woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. This is a sick culture, and our country's a disaster, and it's going to die before your very eyes. Women's soccer team was supposed to easily win, but they went woke. The one with the purple hair, she didn't play too well. She went woke. Take a look, everything goes bad, but it's true about woke. Do you think that General Patton was woke? It's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. Our country was so respected. Nobody was going to mess with us. And then this clown, he got in office, so like the captain essence is I'm getting the hell out of here. I could just see this, the leadership of the Taliban standing there. Somebody walking up, sir, the soldiers have left. It's crazy, it's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit. You know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. Free, you gotta do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you got, no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. Woke. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Woke. Everything woke turns to shit.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked one, obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Conditional inch. Situation delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, True Seeker, we got an hour left. We only have 3 people on hold right now, and one of them just called in from Mexico. Mr. Stonewood said he was finished. Stonewood, if you want to get back on, because we don't have a lot of callers tonight, just call back into the show and get back in line, and then I'll know you decided you had more to say. Just as something I meant to mention at the beginning of the show, Cyman Dan, who attacked my work a little more than a week ago, him and I have agreed to a debate. And he said he will be back to me in a day or two about what time he can do it. Apparently, he's training for a 120-kilometer marathon. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, we're going to have a debate. And the topic of the debate is Gematria bullshit? Because he made a video saying Gematria is nothing but bullshit and guff and beans in his British terminology. But that debate will be coming. And I'm looking forward to it, especially since he has 500,000 subscribers on the tube. But let's go out to 516. 516, you're on.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, how's it going? It's an honor to be here. I've been calling for a while trying to get on, and it's good to finally get on here. But anyways, I want to say thank you for what you do out there. The Gematria and everything is on point all the time. And there's one thing I wanted to share that I think would blow people's minds, and it's something that kind of set me on the path of discovery here with Gematria. And that is basically that the same way that these codes are put into news and music and culture and stuff like that, I've personally seen them in movies, in Hollywood movies, being used, but specifically with the runtime of movies. I'm sure I've seen you do work before where you've shown that a movie, let's say, is 118 minutes long or something like that, and connecting it to things, themes in that movie. But one thing I think that's really worth looking into here is, are you familiar with the movie Donnie Brasco? It came out in 1997.
I remember that being a Johnny Depp movie. Yeah, Johnny Depp. I remember him playing the character.
Yeah.
Remind me what goes on in that movie.
So it's basically the story of Johnny Depp he's an FBI agent, and he infiltrates Donnie Brasco's mafia organization, and that's basically Al Pacino. And it's very interesting, though, that if you watch the movie, right, and this is something I discovered years ago, and I've been sitting on it, and only one other person has posted online this thing that I found here, is, and this relates actually to Rambo's work as well that he recently spoke about. But in the movie, right, if you watch at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 33 seconds in the movie, actually, yes, literally specifically 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 33 seconds into the movie, there's a scene in the movie that's not even in the script, okay? Like, I looked up the script. I tried to find this. It's not in the script anywhere. And it says it's very worth watching for anybody that's listening, because it says that Donnie Brasco is in, or, Johnny Depp, his agent, is in Florida, and he misses his daughter's communion. And communion is a Catholic, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's some sort of Catholic thing that I don't know exactly what it is. But anyways, in the movie at that exact scene, they say, snowed in, can you believe him? That his excuse to his wife is that he's snowed in, he's stuck at an airport. And so, yeah, they go, he tells his wife he's stuck at an airport and he can't make it back. Meanwhile, he's in Miami infiltrating the mob or whatever. And he says, snowed in, can you believe him? This is like his brother-in-law or whoever. Says, snowed in, can you believe him? And the wife goes, stuck in an airport. And then the wife goes, oh, but that's for his own protection, right? And the very weird thing that I noticed, and this is very weird, that Edward Snowden, okay, if that rings a bell of Edward Snowden, he was stuck in an airport. If you look up Edward Snowden, the day that he was stuck in an airport, okay, is June 23rd, 2013, which is 623. I think June is 6, unless I'm mistaken. But that's literally, the movie came out in 1997, and Edward Snowden, for anyone who doesn't know, he was the whistleblower, the NSA whistleblower. And then the movie came out in 1997, and that happened in 2013, on the exact day that the movie runtime says that.
Huh, interesting.
So it's very interesting, so, and then the next scene after that, right, is him at a telephone booth, and he's trying to call his wife, and they showed two suns in the background. You could Google Donnie Brasco, two suns, and someone else posted it on YouTube where they showed two suns. And there's a debate if it's meant to be there, if like they meant to do that, but I'm sure anything in a movie, especially of that caliber and that budget with those actors, is meant to be, like they put it in there for a reason. So Two Sons relates to Rambo's work, and it's like something about there's like a story that there used to be two sons, and I don't know much about it, but yeah, I figured I would call in and just give that piece of information that is very weird, and yeah, so it's definitely like mind-blowing, so just had to share that. But anyways, yeah, thank you for everything that you do. And also another thing, my last point here that I'll make, I know there's other callers and stuff, is I'm the guy that's been trying to reach you to give you a billboard in Times Square. I'm trying to put up whatever you want on this billboard, and I'll go film it and stuff like that. So I've been, every single time that I try to give you my information, they delete my comments. I don't know why, but anyways, my name is Matty Kebs, and I'm on Instagram and everything, and yeah, so however I could give you my information to run you this billboard, that would be great.
Why does it have to be something that I'd say? I mean, you got the idea and the ability to do it, and you got the mind and know what's going on. I mean, what message would you like to see on there?
Well, I was thinking of promoting your website, so I just wanted to go through you first and maybe send you the dimensions of the graphic that you could make, and you put your website on there and whatever. And I want to post it personally to my Instagram as well, and get it out there for my fans. Because one thing I didn't mention is I actually work in the music business, but I'm obviously a truther, and I've seen a lot of weird things. I've been told a lot of weird things, and a lot of it is confirmed to be, you know, like Jesuit weird. You know, I try to stay out of that stuff. I don't really get involved, but yeah. So I don't want to get suicided or anything and ritually sacrificed. So. But I do want to put it up on a billboard, and my Instagram is MattyKevs, MattyKevs.
Okay, I'll look for you in the chat.
I would love to collaborate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think the website. I'd be grateful for that, to promote the website. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And one thing I want to say too is a lot of musicians that I've worked with and helped that are like upcoming artists, and I've even worked with some not like major celebrities, but certain people who have definitely said weird things to me about the ongoings of the industry. And I just want to say there's a lot of people who actually know about your work, like upcoming artists that I talk to. And it's weird when like I'm talking to someone and they're like, oh, I watched Zach. And I'm like, I've been watching him for years. So I'm a huge fan. So yeah, I'm kind of geeking out right now.
Well, I really appreciate the support. If you want to email me, GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com, and just put like New York sign in the title, I'll know it's you. And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. I know I kind of rambled here and said a whole bunch of stuff, but just a little, I'm surprised that I got on. I've been watching you for literally years, and like, you know, I work with celebrities and stuff like that, but to me, like, you're a celebrity, you know, because I literally like fall asleep to your videos. I have them on for hours. My girlfriend, she goes crazy. She's like, you know, oh my God. But anyways, yeah, like, thank you for what you do. And I want to get the billboard out there so that I can help this go viral, you know.
That would be awesome. New York seems like the right place. And somebody in the chat said earlier, Zach, you need to get to New York for 9/11. Yep. I'm envisioning that I will be in New York for 9/11 this year. I've been wanting to do that for a lot of years. It's got to happen. The time is now. So, all right, send me that email, and thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Of course, yeah, and I just put my Instagram in the chat. It's at MattyKevs, MattyKevs. And I also would love to see more of this Gematria work on there, you know. I feel like there's a large audience on there that would benefit from this, you know, because not everybody's on YouTube. A lot of people use Instagram. But, yeah, thank you so much.
What platform is that again that you're recommending?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram, yeah. Yeah, I can use Instagram more. Sometimes when they censor my stuff on YouTube, it stays up on Instagram. Instagram definitely has censored me when I've tried to do my pounding payment on the corner. Man, they've shut my streams down in like a minute. But
oh man, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can help you with that too. I know ways of getting around the system and beating the algorithm. But yeah, so anyways, I'll send you that email, and it's an honor to have called in and gone through tonight.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your idea and your support and being willing to do that. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, that's very cool. People have been saying I need to get a billboard in New York. Looks like it might happen. Amazing. Let's go out to 408. 408, you're on.
Hey, Zach. So I just wanted to kind of add on to what George was talking about and what you were talking about at the Sacramento shooting the other day. So just some additional information, because I'm from California. This is stuff that I've researched before. Sacramento became California's state capital on the 56th day of 1854. So clear Jesuit connection there.
Right.
And it also, Sacramento CA also equals 113, which of course is the number of dishonesty. And California became a state on September 9th, which is the day leaving 113 days left in the year. So no surprises there with Sacramento, and it's February 25th, 1854.
All right, I appreciate that, and that goes with them letting the man out of prison for unknown reasons 54 days before the shooting. So, good one. Thank you.
All right. I'll see you in OKC in a couple of weeks.
All right, very cool. Look forward to that. Thank you. You have a good night. All right, we got another one coming out to OKC. Great news. Let's go out to Mexico. Thanks for calling in, Mexico.
Zach, are you talking about 573?
That's you, 573. It says Mexico. Oh, it's Mexico, Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, Mexico, Missouri. Now I see.
Yeah, Missouri.
What's up, Missouri?
Okay, I got some observations I just want to throw at you. I'll try to be quick. So there was a Jesuit band. It was an American hardcore punk band. They have a Wikipedia page. They formed in 95, disbanded in 99, and had a reunion in 2011. 112, you know?
What's the name of the band again?
Jesuit, and it's in quotation, parentheses, it says band, so there's a Jesuit band.
I see. Okay. I see it. Okay. Formed in 95. I love that. Again, the Jesuits created account of the 95 Theses. They're formed in 95. Okay. Okay.
And they got the 99 thing. That's 2011, backwards 112, like the Jesuits in the 112 countries. Yeah. If you look a little further down, they have labels that I found interesting as Hydra Head, Reservoir, Magic Bullet, Associated Acts as Doom Riders, The End of the Universe, Converge. I thought those were pretty interesting. I also I wanted to ask you if you've seen that St. Louis Cardinals game the other day where they went 29-8.
I didn't. No.
Yeah, they went 29-8. St. Louis Cardinals is 298. I believe it's in Francis Bacon. I have it here somewhere.
Huh.
Okay, let me get back to this. About the Selena death, it was announced on 3/14. Her dad announced that there will be a new unreleased album of unreleased songs. And I thought that was pretty interesting to the Pi days. But I started looking into decoding the Selena death, and I did read your book, but it was a few months ago when I finished it. I can't remember if you brought up the significance of 158, the room number that she supposedly was shot in.
I don't think I knew that she was shot in room 158. So that and again, we know Freemasons is 158. The Jesuits created on 15/8. Okay.
So check this. I started looking into it more, and if you look up Selena's last word, she told the front deskman that it was Yolanda Saldivar in room 158. And if you type in Yolanda Saldivar in English Ordinal, what do you think that equals?
Huh.
158. That really threw me, I couldn't believe it.
You know what's funny? She died on the same day as Brandon Lee, 331, which is the 67th prime, and of course Blood Sacrifice is 67, but she's buried on the same day as Brandon Lee too, but it's 2 years apart. His happened in 93, hers happens in 95. Interesting.
I believe that's the same day as Nipsey Hussle. I'm not too sure.
He died on March 31st too, reportedly. Yeah, March 31st was his date of death. I'm not sure if his burial was April 3rd.
So, Selena has 4 out of 4 synchronicity with hatred, staged, friend. And if you think about it, yeah, she died the day before April Fool's Day, so it kind of, and April equals 56 as well. That's kind of arbitrary. So I did a decode. They did a mayoral race, which is like an election, to be mayor in Columbia, Missouri, which is about 45 minutes away from me. And I found that I couldn't find the lady who won. Her name is Barbara Buffalo, and it's spelled differently, Buffaloe. I couldn't find a birthday for her, but I did find her annunciation date. The day that she announced she was running was October 11th, 10/11. If you take out the 0, it's 111. Well, Barbara Buffalo is born in 111.
Huh. Interesting.
And she won, and it was announced on the 96th day, which was, I believe, yesterday. 96th day of the year, and or I'm sorry, that's today. The 96th day, it was officially announced today, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this together. If you type in Barbara Buffalo in reverse reduction, it's 96. And I had one big major point, now I cannot. Other than that, I just found it interesting that the same day that she was announced, I also found another story where this woman, Barbara Montserrat Veracruz, from Veracruz, rode in on a buffalo to her quinceañera party. That's like a sweet 16. So I just thought that was pretty interesting.
Indeed.
And, I posted on your link to this live chat on Free to Find Truth. I put that little people can live for 150 years longer in the Metaverse. It's on there.
Okay.
And my break's about it. I just wanted to run those observations by you.
Well, great observations. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling in and sharing that.
No problem.
All right. You have a good night, friend. Thank you. I never knew before tonight there was a Mexico in Missouri. Hey, it's Young Ben. What's up, Young Ben?
Hey, how are you, Zach?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm just thinking...
Hi, Zach. And Natalie. How are both of you doing?
Doing all right. I was just thinking, I heard there was only 3 people on hold, so I figured I'd just come in and give a shout. I was thinking, if Simon Dan thinks that Gematria is a load, he should be reminded that all 12 of the people that walked on the moon were Freemasons, and the Bible of Freemasonry has the phrase about God creating the world by merging the number with the letter with the word right on the first page, the Sefer Yetzirah, I think. So that means that those people that he admires, I'm assuming, they also must be full of shit in their beliefs too, right?
Fair point. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the debate, so.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say tonight, to be honest. Other than good luck next week, and hopefully you can make it out east at some point.
I will. I will.
I'm looking forward.
I'm manifesting that I will be in New York on 9/11 this year, so.
That would be a classic for sure.
Yeah, and if I come out there, I'll definitely spend some time out there because I haven't been to the Northeast at all, and I would like to hit up some of the other cities right there, all in the proximity from Philadelphia to D.C., so.
Well, the week after is, September 18th is the day the D.C. cornerstone was laid, right?
Good point.
So that could be, they could do a little roundabout there.
Right.
Just an idea.
Right. Indeed.
All right. That's all
All right, Ben. Appreciate it, man. You and Natalie have a great night. Or Natalie, did you want to say something?
No, she just said if you came to New York for September 11th, it would be a good birthday present because her birthday's the 16th.
Okay, she's a Virgo. My mom's is the 8th. All right. All right.
Have a good night.
All right, yeah. Take care, both of you. Good nights.
Yeah.
So, Natalie escaped Canada. Young Ben, her savior. Well, I don't know if that's the right word. Young Ben, the hero for Natalie. It's so sad that Canada became so bad. That's something I couldn't. That's something that surprises me. Actually, I didn't think Canada would become. I thought about moving to Canada long ago. I guess in hindsight, it was the right move to not move there. However, Canada was awesome when I wanted to move there. Anyway, 646. What's going on, 646?
Hi, Zach. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hi. I called in last week with regards to the Lewis Till code. You broke that down real good with the 7227, February 7th and July 2nd dates with regards to that. So I decided I fell down another rabbit hole in civil rights history. This one, I'm not sure if you even looked into this one either. But there's been a lot of talk with, like, the latest SCOTUS nominee, what's her name? Ketanji Brown Jackson, right?
Right.
And a lot of YouTubers, a lot of black YouTubers were noticing, like, and they're not even, like, Gematria or conspiracy people. They're like, did you ever notice, like, all the black justices? I mean, not all. I mean, there's only been, like, well, soon to be 3 in
Should
history.
be the third.
They always have, like, they always have, like, a non-black spouse. So a lot of black YouTubers were saying, like, you know, maybe it's a rule that if there's a black SCOTUS, they can't have, like, a black spouse. So I said to myself, but wait a second. What about Thurgood Marshall? So I kind of did a quick search on Thurgood Marshall, and he was married twice that I never knew of.
Hold on. Say the thought, because the commercial just snuck up on us. I'll get you right after the break. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay on.
Have a good time. No problem.
Sometimes shift and go.
Sometimes it's easy to be casual just about repetition and not get much better. How about the man who's been talking for 10 years, but he's making the same verbal errors he made 10 years ago? Or 10 years ago he said, I don't quite know how to put this. 10 years later he's saying, I don't quite know how to put this. We can give you 10 hours not to know how to put it. You can stretch our patience and take 10 days not to know how to put it, but we can't give you 10 years. 10 years is too long not to make enough progress in better language skills. So, repetition with purpose. The purpose is to grow and to change, to develop, to expand, to make progress. Here's some other parts to saying it well. Sincerity, from the heart, with noble intent, wishing to bring value. That adds immeasurably to your ability to speak well, communicate well. There's no substitute for sincerity. I can forgive you for a mistake in judgment, but I can't forgive you for a mistake in intent.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
want to determine if the Grand Architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step Beyond the Veil with Chris and Sherry Geo. Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, True Seeker. Caller who just phoned in, I hope I'm not going to ruin her point, but I mean, she already gave us the $1 million clue. Thurgood Marshall's first wife, who was a black woman who happened to be born on the 42nd day of the year, died on her 44th birthday. And as we know, kill equals 44. Should remind you of Antonin Scalia, who died on the 44th day of the year under mysterious circumstances in the time of the 44th president. And from Thurgood Marshall's birthday to her death was 224 days, where the Society of Jesus is 224. That's also 7 months and 9 days, like Society of Jesus is 79. And keep in mind, she died on the 42nd day of the year. The word Jesuit's 42, so is Georgetown, that's right there in D.C. Thurgood Marshall was nominated on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, June 13th. Kind of like how the woman who was picked, Ketanji Brown Jackson, she was picked 201 days before her birthday, right after Breyer announced that he was retiring 201 days before his birthday, which just happens to be the same day as the Jesuit order. But 224 days is also 32 weeks, and of course the Jesuits share the motto with the Scottish Rite ad Merum Dei Gloriam at the 32nd degree, kind of like the 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. And let me go back to the caller, because I'm sure she has some other things to say, but yeah, I just looked it up and said, look at that, his wife died on her 44th birthday? You gotta be kidding me. 646, you're back on.
Hello?
Hello,
yeah. Hi, Zach. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching your screen as you were doing it. The things that stuck out to me with her was, yeah, she died 44 at the age of 44. She was born in Philly. She was born on 2/11/1911 and died on 2/11/1955, which is crazy. But I saw you did the rest, and I was like, wow. And then another thing, I don't know if you ever looked into the Lewis Hill code. You're gonna laugh at this, right? So he was executed in Italy, but his grave was moved to France.
Oh, no, okay, so the Jesuits created in France and they operate out of Italy. Hold on, I just noticed something else. So the woman he remarried to is born on the 201st day of the year. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and right, and then another thing about Thurgood Marshall, he was SCOTUS from, get this, October 2nd, 1967 to October 1st, 1991. And I did download your first ebook, and I know you talk all the time about 201, but you also talked about 101. And I was just like, come the F on. I was just like, wow. So I just went through another rabbit hole of civil rights fake history. So it's wild.
Yeah.
It is really wild.
I think
but and circling back to Lewis Pitt. Go on.
I just want to say, I think
sorry.
your timing on bringing this up about his wives is going to be really on point. I think we're probably going to read about the death of his wife in the near future because she's 93 right now. And something tells me she's not going to make it to 94. Thurgood Marshall died in 93. Of course, Black History Month's 93. Number stamped all over Black History. But 93 is also connected to Saturn, and Saturn's connected to judgment, and of course her husband was a judge. That's probably also part of the reason his first wife was born on 211, because 211 is the 47th prime, like Judge and Gavel are 47. But yeah, I won't be surprised, because, I mean, with the first black female Supreme Court justice about to be put in, something tells me in the not-too-distant future, maybe like even something like 47 days after Jackson goes in, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a headline on CNN that Thurgood Marshall's wife passed. That's kind of how they operate, so...
Yeah, and I see that you have highlighted that his second wife, Cecilia, was from Hawaii, and I just, you see Barack Obama all over the news all of a sudden, who's from Hawaii. So I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, it's just like, wow, this is too much. It's fake civil rights history. It's sad, but yeah. Thank you so much, Zach. I'm sure I'll call you in the near future.
All right,
with more civil rights rabbit holes.
I really appreciate the call. I feel like I'm gonna have to write a few more sentences in my book because we just found another 201 and another tragic 44. So, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So if you ever come to New York City, definitely check out Brooklyn. You have a following.
I'm going to spend a whole day in front of Etsy's door.
In New York City.
I'm going to spend a whole day in front of Etsy's door. So I'll definitely be in Brooklyn.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. You have a good night.
All right. You take care. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be blasting. I'm gonna rent a speaker system just to blast into Etsy's headquarters all day, assuming they still have a physical headquarters and they haven't done what the rest of these tech companies have done and let everybody work from home. But yeah, I got a bone to pick with Etsy. Let's go out to 647. Hello?
Yeah, hey, yeah, so just calling in, just wanted to say, shout out to the chat. Chat's always on fire, always, like, even though there's like 500-600 people there, everybody's still communicating and having jokes, all that good stuff. Just want to ask you where you got your shirt, because my color's green, and got the Gematria on it. It's fire.
Somebody made this shirt. Almost all the clothes I wear, you guys, are shirts that somebody sent to me in my P.O. box. And, you know what? The person who made this is probably watching right now, and I feel bad. I can't think off the top of my head who made this shirt, but, I was actually thinking about having some more shirts made like this, and, maybe even passing some out. So, do you like it? Does it look good? I think it's good for getting the word out.
Yo, it's solid.
So
yeah, it's bright. It's got the white letters. It's got all that.
It says isopsophy.
Second thing.
It says isopsophy on the back, which is the Greek word for gematria. So
solid.
Yeah.
Second question I wanted to ask was that song where this code has been compromised, the drum and bass song. Is there anywhere we can find it, because that is absolutely fire song, and like it's a good, just want to hear it all the time.
You mean the song that I played at the end of last week's show?
No, not the Donald Trump song. The one that goes the one with that has like the whole, like your beginning right at the end of the commercial when you first start off your song. It goes, this code has been compromised, and then it has like the drum and bass on it.
I guess you could just record it off the live stream and play it somewhere, because I mean Chris Geo probably has the audio file somewhere. He when he first signed me for this radio show, or not signed me but asked me to do it, I gave him a bunch of audio clips of like George Carlin speaking and MLK and Terrence McKenna, and he just took all those voices and put it over his, whatever you want to call that, techno beat or whatever. But I'm sure he's got the audio file for that somewhere, but it plays on the show. So you could write Chris Geo and say, hey, can I get the opening to Gematria Effects show? I think he'd be willing to give it to you. So.
Word. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Love what you do, and just keep rocking on, bro. I'll be there in New York if you're there.
All right, appreciate that, man.
I'll
Thank
make
you.
my way down if I can get there without being. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, encore performance. Must have just taken another bong rip. What's up, DK Stonewood?
You know me well. Yep, I took another bong rip and something triggered. I remembered something about.
Hey, hold on.
About
Hold on. Before you go any further, are you the kind of guy that keeps your glass super clean, spotless glass?
You know what? I used to, but now what I do is, I clean it every single day with alcohol and hot water, so kind of.
Okay, so you keep it clean. You keep it clean.
Yeah, fairly clean. Like I rubbing alcohol the lip part a lot and stuff like that. Yeah, I keep it pretty clean, and I use like distilled water and stuff. I don't just put like tap water. So yeah, I'm kind of anal about it.
Good for you. It's a lot better to smoke out of a clean bong. I just imagined you did, so I just had to ask for some reason. Okay, you were talking about Venus and what Rambo was talking about.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going over somebody else's house taking a rip out of some muddy bong water that everybody's been lipping on. Who knows where they've been? No way. So, yeah, anyway, it triggered in my mind something with how Rambo was talking about, Venus and, the symbols for Venus. And in my country, we say Venera for Venus. So, like Venera, like venerate. And still we have, like, Isus is still the same. Isus, it didn't change from the Latin. So, and then this lady just called about the Thurgood Marshall. So originally the Venusians were the benevolent leaders of Earth. Now we're talking about, we're supposedly in the 5th seeding right now, like the 5th time a civilization has been put on this Earth and wiped out. That's why they call the show Babylon 5 and, so forth. So before that, the Venusians were like the benevolent leaders of Earth, and one of them was Thor. So Thor was a good marshal. So Thurgood Marshall. I believe that's where that comes from. The symbol of Venus, yes, is a star, like a 5-pointed star, and I forget now what they stand for. One of them is your service to society. Like they're all part of like what makes up a whole human being, that 5-pointed star. And the symbol for Venus is a bee. They're a matriarchal society, the Venusians, and just like the bees have a queen, which rules by vibration, by frequency, because it can generate a higher frequency than any of the rest of the bees. So all the rest of the bees will follow. And there's a movie they made about this, about why they originally built the Great Wall of China, called The Wall, with Matt Damon, where it was actually a reptilian invasion. And then they were trying to find the queen who was ordering all these and they built the wall to keep these things out because they were huge, like 8 foot tall or whatever. But anyway, it's an interesting movie. So what a bee actually is it's bees are billions of years old, and they say, if we lose the bees, we're screwed. So most people think a bee flies by flapping its wings like a bird. It doesn't. If you look at a bird like a seagull or whatever, the body of the bird is very small, and the wingspan is huge, many, many, many times bigger than the body. The body's actually like a tiny little thing. Then you look at a bee. It's a fat little thing, looks like a blimp, and the wings are like not even half the size of the bee, and they're so thin you could see through them. They're thinner than origami paper. If you try to catch a dead bee and you try to lift it, a lot of times you just tear the wings because they're so fragile. So to think that those tiny little wings could generate enough lift to lift a fat bee up so it can hover like that is ridiculous. That'd be like putting seagull wings on a 747 and say it's going to fly like that. There's no way. And just like how you jump off a second or third story roof when you're a kid with 2 umbrellas and they fold inside out and then you hit the ground, actually the lawn pretty hard, that's what would happen. What a bee is actually doing is it's purring like a cat inside, but with just a higher frequency than a cat, and it pushes that purring vibration noise out into the wings. And when you look at a bee wing really close, you notice it's just like clear paper. It looks like cellophane, except with little like veins in it. Those veins are actually really tiny straws, which the sound is pumped through that vibrational, that purring vibrating noise, and the rest of the wing, the cellophane-looking portion, acts like a sail, like the paper in a speaker. So the bee's actually putting out a vibration and hovering. The wings aren't even barely moving. They're just vibrating. That's why the bee makes so much noise. It's a tiny little thing. A bee or a fly comes into your house. You got seagull, huge bird flies by. You don't hear nothing. But a little tiny thing is making all kinds of buzzing noise because it's literally flying using anti-gravity, flying on a bed of sound called acoustic levitation. So we've had anti-gravity on Earth from nature for thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions and billions of years. So the technology that we're using now, driving these, circular wheeled, rubber-lined wheels on cars and stuff, is an absolute joke. Like, they're laughing at us how we're our modes of transportation that have been taken away from us. We didn't used to travel like this. We could go anywhere easily. So a bee is flying, or anything that has that buzz sound is flying on like a cloud of sound. And that's why when they take off, they say if you want to swat a fly, you come from behind, because the wings are angled slightly forward. So when it takes off originally, it has to go back first just a little bit before it can hover in any which way. A bird that actually is flapping its wings really, really fast, and they're small and hovering, is a hummingbird. But that's the only bird that does it. All the rest of the birds have enormous wings compared to the size of their body. So again, it's all about vibration. And the other way to levitate something using vibration is to vibrate it at Schumann resonance. Get the molecular structure of whatever it is you're vibrating to vibrate at Schumann resonance, which is the vibration of the earth, which is what gravity is, and it becomes weightless. So that's how they built these megalithic structures with stones that are, 100 or 1,000 tons or 500 tons. They weren't like using ginormous cranes or anything. They would just vibrate the stones, which resonate, like a bell, and you hit it and it goes, and it keeps the vibration. So then now you make it weightless. So you got a, 100-ton block. You can just move it around, like one person can move it around and position it, no problem. Then you just take away the vibration. Now it weighs 100 tons again. Nobody's moving it. So again, going all back to sound and cymatics. Anyway, you got anyone else to take on, or should I keep babbling?
We actually, no, there's no one else on hold. We don't have callers tonight, so keep on going. We're listening.
Okay. We were talking about a lot of the chat. When we were talking about food, people were talking about monoatomic gold. Yeah, they're absolutely right. And this is where the whole nonsense, Anunnaki story. They were coming here to mine gold to, inject into their atmosphere to save their planet. They were doing that so they can live forever. And that's why the Sumerian kings list, one guy is ruling for 29,000 years and this and that. So monoatomic gold is M-state matter. Am I back?
You're on, yeah. We're listening. The chat's enjoying it very much.
Oh, that's weird. I'm getting messages from the TFR show right now, like from the recorded robot voice chick.
Huh.
Yeah, this monoatomic gold and like monoatomic silver, this is like M-state matter, and it's known to hold consciousness. And it has some crazy properties. Like you heat it up, it disappears. Like in a lab, they put it on a plate, they heat it up, it disappears. Then they turn it off, it cools back down, it reappears. So where did it go? Where it disappeared and then it reappeared. So yes, they found a lot of monoatomic gold in Egypt and all this stuff. And basically what it does when you consume it, it makes your body like a superconductor. So, we're piezoelectric, antennas, really, it was what we are. And what we're trying to do is ground spirit in physical flesh. So like our soul isn't actually inside the body, or else it would die if the body died. Soul is non-localized, and it's interfacing with your body like your body's the Bluetooth device for your soul. And the connection, the Bluetooth, they put in the code, it's 4000. Well, the code is your DNA. So even like identical twins will have different DNA. So each soul can only run one body. And in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or whatever that thing's called, that Rambo was talking about earlier, in the Vedic text, it literally says that Earth was invaded by demons who took the shape of human kings on Earth. So whether there was cloning there or they were taking over their consciousness, in the movie Gods of Egypt, they used these stones that resonate, and then they pour liquid gold and they could transfer consciousness. So like a benevolent king could all of a sudden have his consciousness overwritten, and some evil soul is running that body now, where the guy's like all of a sudden the next day he's killing his people and doing sacrifices and stuff. So that's what it talks about also in the Vedic text. Now, yeah, so the monoatomic gold can definitely, you know, extend life and heal you from a lot of stuff, because what it does is it kind of blurs the spacing between your astral body and your physical body. Astral bodies live thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You know, your physical body's been maxed out at 120 before the flood, and then, you know, they took the people who had their consciousness manipulated and their lifespan shortened, let everybody else die, and then let those reproduce and repopulate the earth. So, like, you know, that's why nobody is really living past 120 anymore. Whereas before, the normal human lifespan was around 1,000. So everybody in the Bible's so old, and Methuselah 900 years old. Noah was like 600 something. So, you know, we used to be a lot taller as well. You know, when we got about 200 years old, we were kind of like known to be like grown-ups and wise, and that's when our wisdom teeth would come out, when our jaw was bigger, and they wouldn't have to like pull all our teeth out because it wouldn't fit in our jaw. So that's why, you know, the way we're aging and stuff has been all manipulated. We used to look like we were 25 for like 200 years, and then finally start looking like we had some wisdom, and then your wisdom teeth would come out, and, you know, our whole thing has been shortened, so we don't learn anything in these short lives, you know, and then we'll put through the dumb school system and all that. We don't learn anything, and the soul never grows, so it gets reincarnated over and over. It gets put like in a recycle bin, you know, and you see the sign of the recycle. It's also like a trident, like a twisted trident, spinning counterclockwise like the swastika does instead of clockwise. So, you know, again, we should have a unified brain with a unified consciousness, not a separated consciousness like we have now, and with the bicameral brain with the male and female. We're trying to balance it with the limbic brain in the middle, which is these emotions that are all imbalanced and centered in a reptilian brain, the R complex. So there's been a lot of manipulation there. For those who were talking about the monoatomic gold in the chat, you're 100% right. Consume as much of it as you can get your hands on. It's expensive, but I definitely gonna have to agree with that. What are we at? Like 3 minutes before the music comes on?
We got 5 minutes.
Another thing we were talking about is all the headdresses and stuff that these guys wear, like the Pope fish head hat for the age of Pisces. I got that originally these guys had these long hats and stuff to hide their elongated skulls so they could pretend to be human. So originally when, you know, Atlantis was taking over the kingdom of the sea and the kingdom of the land, they invaded the spiritual centers and pretended to be like these priest kings from, you know, Atlantean priest kings, like literally taking their forms and stuff. And it's literally the same thing we got now. Now, do some of those guys in the Vatican still have, you know, elongated skulls and are, you know, human hybrids? I don't know. But you notice some of the hats go straight up. Those were supposed to be like the evil ones, you know, like kind of like, remember the Coneheads movie, how their heads were elongated, skulls were pointing straight up. But then you go like to Peru and, you know, and these different tribes around the world where these researchers go, all the elongated skulls are elongated toward the back. You look at these old Egyptian headdresses and stuff, they were facing backward, not straight up like the ones in the Vatican. So we've had different kinds of elongated skull beings here, different elongated, like at a different angle. So are the headdresses hiding some of that? Maybe still now, maybe. I mean, before, I venture for sure that's what it was before. And, you know, and then you have that story from all the wars on Mars with, you know, beings trying to escape the martial law there, and some of them having elongated skulls and coming to Earth on a refugee mission, landing in Antarctica while it was tropical. They say that originally they crash landed with 3 ships that were called the Pinta Lucia and the Santa Maria, and then later when the Cabal came over here to invade the Indians, they named it that. So people have made that connection, like the Cabal is those elongated skull beings from Mars. I mean, I don't know. I have both stories that they could be positive, they could be negative. Anyhow, where are we at? 53? should I go on to another topic?
We got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh, you know what? I'll just tell my Will Smith story for 2 minutes. How's that?
Okay.
So I used to work for MTV a lot before when I was like in college and in my 20s. And so I used to go to a lot of these events, MTV Movie Awards, MTV Music Awards. And, you know, I've been around to all these people, not just because of where I live, but, you know, just going to these events. So when you're working with MTV, you're like, you're in the same place where all the stars are at, kind of like behind the scenes and, you know, okay, it's time for you guys to go out now. We're like extras to make things look good. So sometimes they have a crowd that's in the front. None of that is like just random people. That's all staged and everybody's been cast for that. So I'd be like one of those people. And then like after the show's over, you know, like the one I want to tell about Will Smith is Santa Monica Airport. The show it was like the video awards. I think it was when he won for Ali. I'm not sure. Somewhere around that time. And so it's in a big hangar, and then we go into a little bit smaller hangar for the VIP after party where it's all the food and drinks for free and all that. So there's the long table with all the food, people walking down both sides of it, you know, just loading up their plate. I'm walking, and Will Smith's in front of me, right? He's about 15 feet in front of me. There's a big gap. And we get to the Mexican food section. He's still in front of me. And there's this, I got like this tostada that had all kinds of chicken. I'm like, all right, I'm not eating tostada. I'm taking it for all this chicken. And I'm loading up on the guacamole, which looked really fresh and made with pico de gallo and stuff. And I'm taste testing everything kind of as I'm going to see if I want more of any one thing. And as he's walking away, he's tasting that guacamole I'm loading up on, and he realizes it's good. So he turns, he about faces and turns around to come back to it, basically almost running into me. And as he's looking at me, he's double dipping his chip into the guacamole as I'm putting the big spoon for the guacamole back. And he's looking right at my face. He's like, don't tell anybody you see me do that. And I was like, well, I've already loaded up on guacamole. If I need any more, I'll come back to the other side of the table where hopefully nobody's putting their fingers in it. And he starts laughing. He's like, ha, like kind of a, you know, sarcastic, funny laugh. And as he turns around and keeps walking down the table, he keeps laughing, and I'm still walking like behind him. But he was kind of an immature kid, kind of.
Sure. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you, Mr. Stonewood. Thank you to all the callers. And we'll be back in a few weeks.
Foil, Weird Al, foil.
Weird Al foil, absolutely. All right, True Seeker, until next time. Okay. Weird Al foil, again, I'd share it, but I don't want to give YouTube a reason to take down the whole stream. They've done things like that before. So check out that Weird Al foil. D26 Creates YouTube channel. Doing great things. Our Gematria Rookie of the Year. And again, you guys, in case you missed the beginning of the show, there's probably not going to be a TFR next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, and that's because I'll be driving to Oklahoma City and driving back from Oklahoma City. But there will be tons of live streaming content, so it's okay. And let me finish off by saying thank you to all the super chatters. A lot of generosity tonight. I appreciate it very much. I'm hoping gas prices don't go up any higher between now and Oklahoma City. But LAF with 3 donations tonight. Very generous. Thank you. Matthew Bentley, thank you so much. And Sarah Sutherland, always very generous. Another big donation, thank you. And BM with the $2 donation says, Zach NYC, September 11th, 2022. Again, I'm manifesting that thought that's going to happen because, honestly, I wish I could be in New York every year on September 11th. Just I live on the wrong side of the country. But, yeah. So, if Oklahoma City is successful, Sweet Lady sees the success, she'll be more on board with me going to more cities. And the next place I would intend to go to after Oklahoma City is drive a little south down to LA. Probably stop in the Bay Area along the way. And Jeff Young wants to get out and do like a street campaign too with some music and some speaking out. So, you know, Jeff Young, yours truly, and whoever else shows up. But yeah, those things are all coming. Plus, Jeff Young wants to do a live stream in the near future. God, I want to do it soon, but it's like I'm trying to make sure I'm done with the book before I go to Oklahoma City. I can't believe I'm still not done. But the good news is I'm very happy with the book. But Jeff Young wants to do a lesson on sacred geometry and its relation to the keyboard and the frets, and how he can teach you to play guitar by understanding sacred geometry and again, just the layout of the guitar. So I'm looking forward to that. And if I can't come up with the time before Oklahoma City to do it, we'll definitely do it after. So things to look forward to. And again, the Simon Dan interview, I'm going to sneak that in whenever, just because that's an opportunity to reach 500,000 people who have been told that Gematria is bullshit by Simon Dan. So at least he's willing to have the debate. And don't get pepper sprayed. I'll try not to. So, let's see. Just tag me in something on Free to Find Truth if you could check it in your spare time after the show. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you. And, again, make sure you guys are supporting all the people doing the Gematria work in the community. You know, the D26s, the Kayla Decode Talkers, the Chigozi Truths, the Zenith of the Alphas, the Dan Barents. This man, he's doing silent, you know, this, out of all the channels I named, I think you guys are familiar with him. A guy who started something really recently, is it J. Will Fax? How's he do it? This is the channel. So he's doing these really good Gematria presentations, and I've asked if he could start using his voice, because I think it would help him get more views. But all of these videos he's doing are really simple things. They're not too long, and they're really simple, and they could all be good opportunities to wake somebody up. Especially if you go through his catalog, you see he's numbering each one he does. If you see one and you're like, oh, I got a friend or family who's into that topic, maybe this would resonate with them. You know. This could be an effective format right here. But personally, I think he should use his voice. And, but yeah, he's another person in the community who's doing a great job. So J. Will Fax. And last week's TFR show, where I didn't exactly do my book writing vacation as well as I should have. If you go to last week's show, Charmed One did a pinned post with a lot of the Gematria channels there linked. So, and I think I forgot to recommend Rambo's channel last week, The Truth Codes, Jonathan's channel, One Infinite Consciousness. So, again, make sure you're supporting the other people in the Gematria community. Lots of people doing great work, and then you'll miss me less too while I'm not posting while I'm driving. So, and thank you, Iron, for the super chat. Appreciate it very much. LAF, I better get off before you clean out your bank account in tonight's donations. Geez, that's your 4th donation. So, again, really appreciate the generosity, and I'm going to hop off before LAF can possibly do another donation. Debate the flat earth. Well, definitely not before I go to Oklahoma City. A lot of you guys have been asking me to have on David Weiss of Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. I know a lot of you guys really like him. So, I think since some of you guys are still into the flat earth, I think I'll have David Weiss on and let him do his presentation. And then I won't be mean to him, but just, like, I've seen him before, and he says things, and like, he'll get into, like, well, I believe it's this way, and, like, when he does that on my presentation, I'm going to be like, why do you want to promote your beliefs about things you can't prove, rather than, like, focus on what's actually going on Earth, rather than the shape of the Earth, you know, where it doesn't require belief. I mean, what we're doing in this community is evidence-based, and it's exposing the evil that's taking place on Earth. So since he's such a passionate flat earther, and, you know, a lot of you guys like him, and I don't want to be mean to the guy, but I do want him to come on, and then when he gets to his points where in his presentation where he's talking about his beliefs, again, I'll ask him questions. So, Kushmanu says, Jay Will wants to do a video to promote your new books and hit you up for music for it. I appreciate that. Absolutely. I know I saw your comment today with the music and gave it a heart. I forget what video you wrote that in, but if you guys read, I hardly have any comments in any videos. If you guys go through the last 2 or 3 comments, Kushmanu's got his song linked in there. He's doing some truth-inspired music. And hold on, somebody else just had a super chat, but it already went away. Oh, Iron with another one. Wow, some of you guys are just being too generous. Again, thank you guys for everything, and tell Jay Will thank you for that. I appreciate him supporting the book. And again, you guys, I don't know if YouTube, it's the algorithms, and they're just making all the Gematria channels look like there's less subscribers, but I look at Jay Will, and I know I've recommended his channel like 10 times now, and I'm thinking, how's it possible that he only has 283 subscribers? Again, you guys, it doesn't cost any money to subscribe to somebody's channel, and maybe they're just messing with his number, and it's a lot more than that. Maybe there's 3,000 people there. But again, it feels rewarding when you're a video creator, when you see your channel grow. You feel like, okay, the word's getting out. People care. People appreciate. So again, I just wish everybody would go and subscribe to all the people doing the Gematria work. And again, he's working hard. I mean, he's put out 67 videos right now. So he's averaging 4 subscribers per new video. Let's help him do better than that. And again, if you're out there, Jay Will, I really do think you should put your voice in the video. Sarah, with another donation, thank you. You've given me a lot of my gas money, so, thank you. You don't need to donate anymore. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you again, Iron. I see that. But yeah, we'll leave it there for tonight. I can't believe April 19th is already almost here. So I did put out a video a few days ago too for a hotel. I don't know if that talks about OKC April 19th and where you might want to stay. Again, decent hotel, decent prices, breakfast provided, and it's right there where you want to be, where we're going to be, next to the Bricktown Park. We'll be at the Memorial on April 19th, but I think most of the days I'm going to be in that Bricktown Park area, just because from what I understand, there's a lot of foot traffic there. So, and remember, you guys, if you can't be in Oklahoma City on April 19th, you can still help out by, when we're live streaming, sharing the link to your live stream on your social media platform, posting it in other YouTube channels, just do a hashtag OKC April 19th. Because I'm going to be using that for all the live streaming content. Because then when you do the hyperlink, if people click on it, it'll take you to the list of videos. And the troll figured that out. The troll's doing that hyperlink OKC April 19th. But yeah. But yeah, we just keep our fingers crossed for no tornadoes. It is tornado season in that part of the country, but I think we'll be all right. So we'll leave it there for now. True Seeker, have a good rest of your night. Again, if you're in that other part of the world like D26, have a great day. And again, please support the other Gematria content creators and the other great truth channels, even the ones like Eric 777. He doesn't do Gematria, but he does really good research on the Jesuits. So a vlog, like a video. I'll try to record and document as much stuff as possible. So, yeah, indeed. And I know that a great contributor in the community, her son's gonna fly out there, and he has plans, and he's gonna try to make a little documentary out of it. Cade, who I pounded payment with in New Orleans. He's flying out from New Orleans, and he's been working on video editing, and he got some nice video recording equipment, so he's going to try to make like a little documentary out of it too. So there should be some cool video content coming out of the experience, and I look forward to all of it. So thank you so much. And I saw that one last donation, Iron. Thank you times 8. Yeah, that's all for now, True Seeker. And until next time.